The actor Heath Ledger was found dead today in an apartment here in New York City. He was just 28 years old.
The housekeeper discovered Heath Ledger's naked body in a bedroom around 3:30 this afternoon. There were pills apparently strewn about the body, and there were 2 bottles, one for prescription drugs, one for non-prescription drugs. Ledger was best known for his role in Brokeback Mountain, and then this summer he is scheduled to star as the Joker in a Batman sequel.
Meanwhile, as you know, the actor Heath Ledger had just wrapped up playing The Dark Knight, the movie The Dark Knight, where he plays the Joker, the role originally played by Jack Nicholson. And interestingly, Jack Nicholson was asked last night as he was leaving a London restaurant his thoughts on the death of the actor, and he said cryptically that he had warned him and said nothing more. Meanwhile, the medical examiner says that the body of the actor has been moved to a funeral home here in New York City, and arrangements are being made by Ledger's father in Australia. Matt?
All right, Natalie, thanks very much. Natalie Morales in Lower Manhattan for us.
Yeah, we're quoting Ledger saying after doing that role that he couldn't sleep at night, that it really haunted him.
And with the Nicholson thing, we don't know whether he's referring to warning him about medication or warning him about the role of the Joker and how it could mess with. I don't know.
He didn't say anything
we don't know.
Yeah.
Something doesn't feel right.
Sophie, what happened?
I think there's something here that's not meant to be.
This is a complicated thing to untangle, but one of the things you see in Hollywood portrayals of villains, you saw this in The Silence of the Lambs, you see it frequently in mafia portrayals, is that the villain is inadvertently or even sometimes purposefully glorified. And it's partly because he's a rule breaker and has the attraction that goes along with that. But I also wonder, too, if it has something to do with what you were describing, is that the writers and the actors find themselves, when they're trying to portray evil, pulled towards falseness in that representation as part of the proclivity of evil to hide itself. And the danger in that is twofold. And one is the danger of deceiving the public as to the true nature of evil, because there's nothing heroic about it, quite the contrary. And the second danger I wonder about, there's all this speculation about Heath Ledger and the consequences that for him of having played the Joker in such a dark manner. And, I don't know what to make of that, although I do think there is some danger in having to journey down a path of emulating evil in order to represent it.
So if you go to the devil to play the devil will deceive you and put something up there that deceives the public. He'll always try to hide in the shadow. He'll always try, because he doesn't like the light, even though he's called the light, the illuminator, Lucifer. And he tries to mimic God. He tries to be like God.
This thing, it's come back for me.
This demon was once an angel, rejected by God, stripped of power.
It wants that power back. It's okay to be scared. I'm scared too.
You send that thing back to hell.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Juan Fernandez, and tonight for Jeff Vaughn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Saw. It was a local story that made national headlines. A doctor riding his bike in Dana Point run over and then stabbed to death.
Tonight, some answers. The man accused speaking out from behind bars.
But Smith spoke out Friday at the Orange County Jail. Days after pleading not guilty to homicide charges, he agreed to an interview with the SoCal News Group, where he allegedly told the reporter he was both Jesus and God, saying, "I have killed him. If they knew who I was, they would let me walk out of here. They would fulfill all my desires." He also allegedly said he expected to kill someone that day, saying, "It was my right." He was in the crosswalk and presented himself. Well, this story took another unsettling turn out here tonight at the Orange County Jail, where the suspect reportedly went into detail about what was going on in his mind.
Starts now. Demons, a word accused murderer Aiden Fauci used in talking about his soul. The St. Johns County teen who's awaiting trial displayed bizarre behavior during his latest court appearance.
He rocks back and forth and mumbles about demons.
I don't want to let you demons. I don't want to let you demons take my soul. You demons want to take my soul away. I don't want to let you demons steal my soul.
Records show Fucci had a notebook with satanic drawings. His girlfriend told investigators he would hear voices in his head that would tell him to kill people.
New information revealed in the case of a man accused of randomly shooting at drivers in Avondale last weekend.
Raymond continued shooting. Court documents show there were at least 4 victims, including a 14-year-old who was shot in the cheek.
Jesus Christ is real.
According to the police report, Pipkin made several spontaneous utterances after he was arrested. That included, quote, "Jesus is coming, and I've killed people today." It also says he identified himself as Jesus Christ.
I've killed a bunch of people. My name is Jesus Christ.
Jameson, Wendy, an extremely bizarre exchange happened out here. For about a minute and a half, we were able to question Mossberg. He didn't deny he killed anyone. In fact, he offered us a motive, saying that he had to kill people to build an army for God.
He told deputies as well as us that he killed because God told him to, adding that he's a prophet and there's a war coming.
You have anything to say, Stanley?
Y'all will see God, and there's going to be angels and demons fight from God.
Angels and demons fight from God? What does that mean?
There's a war.
What war?
Everybody will see.
Well, there's a tendency, even in Milton's in Milton's Paradise Lost, there's been 2 readings of that forever, and one of them is that Milton's Satan is an anti-hero of the most profound sort, really the embodiment of evil, and the other reading is that Milton's Satan is a disguised hero and the eternal, what would you say, the eternal rebel against established order and someone to emulate in consequence, and that Milton somehow knew that and was coding that, not precisely secretly, but subtly. And I think that's a huge mistake. I mean, I've familiarized myself with Paradise Lost, and I think that Milton was an extraordinarily subtle writer and that he got everything as right as anyone ever has.
Bring people back to God, to wake them up. And quite frankly, more people now, Jordan, are more afraid of the devil than they are of God, because they want a happy Jesus. And the problem is that eventually, Jordan, we all are going to die. Eventually that is going to happen. But people, the power of the devil deceives to say, no, you're going to be around for a long, long time. And they never wake up. And eventually there is a judgment, and then you have to decide, or God decides, not how you want to see yourself anymore, but how God sees you. And how God sees you is who you really are.
Join our Patreon.
Dr. Bobbert and Price, Robert and Bob. What are the different views of hell? What did the Zoroastrian religion teach it to mean, since you've said before that the Jews adopted concepts from them, and I suspect hell was probably one of them. And it'd be interesting to hear if you want to comment on that also, where they might have got their idea from hell, if Zoroastrianism got it from somewhere or not. Why does the New Testament use the terms Hades and lake of fire, like in Revelation? Hell's cast into the lake of fire, Hades is cast into the lake of fire, depending on the translation. Have you ever heard that the lake of fire was the trash dump outside of Jerusalem called Gehenna? Some people literally are rationalists, and they'll say, you know, Hades is the lake of fire, which is Gehenna, which is the trash dump, which is where the bodies of the Jews who died in the Roman-Jewish War were cast and forever burned, meaning they're gone. Kind of like Sodom and Gomorrah burned with an eternal fire. Some people say, well, it's not burning today, but when it burned by the eternal fire of God or whatever, it's done. Anyway, there's a lot of questions in there to unpack, I guess.
Well, the Zoroastrians, hard to date the particular concepts because their scriptures, which are voluminous, are a huge mess. We don't know when this one was written relative to that one and so on. But their idea of hell, they called it the house of the lie, whereas heaven was the house of song. And when you died, they had a few versions of this, you would be faced by a couple of angels, one at your feet, one at your head in the coffin. And I love the name of one of them, Visarsh. The idea was you would stand trial by ordeal, that every soul would have to walk on the knife edge of the bridge of the separator, the Chinvat bridge. And likely you'd fall off and go into the house of the lie, where there was the fire and torments and so on. The Zoroastrians believed that Ahriman, the evil anti-god, the more or less even matched opponent of Ahura Mazda, that this was his domain. And that's interesting in terms of the Bible, because the Bible never says that Satan lives in or rules in hell. Where did that idea come from? You do find it eventually in Jewish lore, and you find it in the Acts of Pilate, Gospel of Nicodemus. We have this weird story about how there's a palace revolution and Satan is dethroned by Beelzebub. I mean, I'd love to know more about that. Anyway, that eventually made it into to Christianity. What was the deal with all the fire and so on? Well, they said that when on the last day, when the Sale Cheyennes, or the benefactor, a virgin-born remote descendant of Zoroaster, would raise the dead for judgment, everybody would pass through a rain of molten lead. And this would, to the righteous, this would seem like a bath in warm milk. But for the wicked, they would either be forever damned or purified. The sin might be smelted out of them. And of course, if you were absolutely evil like Nancy Pelosi or the son of Sam or something like that, there wouldn't be anything left of you. Kind
of a purgatory state.
Yeah, that's right. And so that came into Judaism, I would say, in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, because as I understand it, when Ezra came back with the law of God in his hand, he was a Persian official, though he was Jewish. But I understand that as meaning that he introduced Zoroastrianism into Judaism, and the ones that were influenced by it were the Essenes and the Pharisees. And in fact, the word Pharisee probably originally denoted Parsi or Persian Zoroastrian. So it probably entered in around then, which would be 5th century BCE. Was there a fiery hell in the Old Testament? Not really. There was the idea of Sheol, a dusty, shadowy, walled city where people just kind of shuffled around, unable to think clearly, and that God had abandoned them. He wasn't even aware of what was going on down there. He'd washed his hands of them. Well, who was the Anybody and everybody. Everyone went to Sheol, which means the pit. And this is like a kind of a rotten afterlife of it wasn't exactly a punishment. It's just where the shades went, and we hear about that quite often in the Old Testament. Sometimes it's hard to tell whether they mean you're just going to go to the grave, or if they mean it's actually a place, as it is in the Gilgamesh epic when Enkidu on his deathbed has a vision of Sheol and describes it to Gilgamesh, that it's a great walled city with barred gates. No one who goes there ever returns, and so on and so on. Well, then there was Greek influence, where you had this afterworld divided, because the Greeks in their eschatology had divided Tartarus, originally the cave world where Zeus had banished the Titans and the giants. This became the abode of the wicked who were tormented there, the wheel of Ixion and all these things. And then there was the Elysian field where the righteous went. And so we're getting toward a more modern view there. There had already been in Israel a belief in Tophet or Gehenna, which was a fiery nether world at the foot of Mount Zion. They believed that the temple at the top was a model of the universe, especially the heavens, and that it actually impinged on heaven. And in the same way, they believed in Gehenna as the subterranean kingdom of the god Molech or Malak, and that he received human sacrifice of innocents, babies. This is mentioned plainly in the Old Testament. And of course, Yahweh received infant sacrifices at some point too. But the idea of this was not a realm of post-mortem punishment. Nobody was getting punished. These were just sacrifices to this god of the fire realm. That's a bit different. So that's not exactly hell. I mean, it's a horrible notion with the infant sacrifice. Nobody thought the kids had done anything wrong. And they were just feeding this awful deity. But you wind up with a fiery hell of torment and punishment because of a dispersion of Neo-Pythagorean missionaries, oddly enough, who went from Sicily all over the Mediterranean world teaching their doctrine, which included the hell eschatology based on the geography of Sicily, where they were from, where there were volcanoes and fumaroles and boiling geysers coming up from the ground. And this seems to have been the origin of the fiery hell, and occasional legends that people would sink into them in order to kind of get purgatory out of the way and come back alive. Empedocles supposedly did this. But that seems to be where it enters the biblical picture from Neo-Pythagoreanism. Let's see, what about Gehenna as the garbage dump? This was the theory of a rabbinic commentator, I can't think of his name offhand, in late medieval times, who figured, well, the Valley of Hinnom is what Gehenna means. And he thought, for whatever reason, that it was a dumping ground for unclean animal carcasses and for the bodies of notorious disgraced criminals who could not receive a decent burial, a church burial, we might say. So they just disposed of them. and that the fire was simply like the fire in a junkyard. New bodies and junk are added all the time, so you're fueling the fire. And the worm not dying, well, there are always maggots there because there's always new food for them. David Kimchi, I think was his name, said that. Well, that makes a lot of sense, but it turns out not to be true, because archaeology, I mean, it makes so much sense even of what Jesus says. If your right eye offends you, plug it out, throw it away, your hand, your foot, same thing, because it's better to enter into life maimed than with body intact to be thrown into the Gehenna of fire. And that would make sense. Like, you're talking about guarding yourself from becoming a terrible sinner and deserving that kind of a burial. Makes sense, but archaeology shows that there's no evidence of bodies or trash there. We do know the sacrifices were made. Jeremiah talks about it and so on, but apparently that was just a a bad educated guess. And that's too darn bad, because that if you don't like the notion of people going to hell for eternal torment, that's kind of a welcome way out of it. But unfortunately, it's just based on a misconception. Why do they call it Hades? Well, that seems to be, that comes from Greek religion, right? The realm of Zeus's brother, Hades, or Pluto. And that's the realm of the dead, too. It's synonymous pretty much with Tartarus, which the Bible also uses. In 1 Peter, I think, it speaks of the souls in Tartarus and the demons in chains there. They just borrowed it. They had it was in the neighborhood. Nobody had a copyright on it, and as with many things. So that's where that comes from. Now, does the New Testament teach an eternal hell? I think it probably does, though with qualifications. When Jesus says he's denouncing these cities where nobody accepted his message, Capernaum, Chorazin, whatever the other one was, I forget. He says, will you be exalted to heaven? No, I tell you, you will be brought down to Hades. This is an allusion to Isaiah 14, the king of Babylon, who, like Halal, the dawn god, the morning star, tried to exalt himself to heaven. I will be like the Most High. I will ascend the mountain of the assembly of the gods. But just like he got swatted down in the myth, the king of Babylon has been thrown down ignominiously to Sheol. All the kings of the earth are there to welcome a new king, but they were all given decent burials. Each has his own tomb, and they see poor Belshazzar, or whoever it was, the defeated king of Babylon, thrown in there like a sack of spoiled meat. And they say, well, you too have become like us, and so forth. And so if Jesus is paralleling, I think it's Bethsaida, Capernaum, and Chorazin, if he's drawing a parallel there, he's talking about Sheol, not really a hell. So that's problematic in terms of what's going to happen to individuals. Well, in Revelation, we hear that some at the judgment will be slated for eternal torment. The smoke of their torment goes up before the Lamb year in, year out, daily, forever. Well, that kind of implies they're burning forever. I'd say that's an eternal hell of torment. Matthew adds hell references to several passages from Q and other places where it didn't originally belong. There'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth and all that. Where did he get that? Well, there's a Q saying that Luke also has, where in Luke, Jesus says to the Jewish scribes and Pharisees that one day you'll be pretty bummed out when you see Joe Gentile and Pete Pagan coming from the East and the West to sit at the banqueting table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you guys kick the heck out. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. It doesn't say what's going to happen. They're just really bummed out at being excluded. Well, so that doesn't refer to hell, but in Matthew it does. He takes that phrase and reapplies it. They're going to be thrown into the outer darkness or the oven or whatever, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So he adds that. But the real killer there is Matthew 25, the sheep and the goat story, where the nations, interestingly, who don't accept the ministry, the preaching of the wandering brethren of Jesus, the missionaries, they're going to be turned to the fire. He says, "Depart from me, you cursed ones," into the fire, the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. Well, I used to think, well, that could just be annihilationism, like the Jehovah's Witnesses teach. The fire is eternal, but their suffering needn't be. But yeah, sure, it has to be. What's the point of the fire being eternal? And unless you're going to be cooking there till you're more than well done. So I think Matthew probably did entertain the idea of eternal hell of torment. But you don't find it in any Pauline document, whoever wrote them. There's no reference to anybody going to hell. All you have is the statement at the end of the age, when Christ comes back, he will destroy Christians' persecutors with the flaming fires of judgment, but that says nothing about what's going to happen to him afterward. And in 1 Corinthians 15, he speaks of each in his own turn, Christ, the first fruits, raised from the dead, and then those who belong to him, and then he hands over the kingdom to the Father. Oh, wait a minute, what about those who don't belong to him? They're dead. That's it. They always will be. For Paul, resurrection is the same as salvation. They're not saved. They're not going to be raised from the dead. And as Paul would say, someone will say that in Acts, Paul says, I teach that there will be a resurrection of the righteous and the wicked. He doesn't say that in any of those letters. We know Luke thought that because he's got the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. So there's a variety of views there, and good luck coming up with a systematic theology of it. But all of this pales in comparison to the Buddhist hells. There are hundreds of hells and sub-hells characterized by the kind of fiendish torture you're going to undergo there for uncountable eons. And it's amazing to read this stuff. What kind of sadists came up with it? I mean, it's worse than Dante. It's worse than the Apocalypse of Peter, much worse. And it's just shocking to read this.
This means you must convert to Buddhism or else.
Hallelujah.
Now, I did want to follow up on one quick question because our battery's running low on the camera. And you mentioned in passing, which I thought was interesting, in the Zoroastrian eschatology here, they are virgins. They are virgins in this tale that is dealing in their eschatology, which is Revelation. They're virgins, the 144,000 virgins, which is quite interesting that you parallel that.
In Zoroastrianism?
Yeah, Zoroastrianism, you were mentioning something about virgins. You said they were virgins, and can't remember what you were leading it up to, but this is in the topic of their hell, if you will, something to do with their eschatology. I think you mentioned something about virgins. Now, I don't know if you meant the book of Revelation virgins, or if you were talking about Zoroastrian. But
the only thing I can think of with Zoroastrianism, I think I mentioned the virgin-born Saoshyans, the messianic benefactor who will raise the dead.
Yes.
A virgin-born remote descendant. In fact, they say that there's a sacred lake, which is basically a sperm bank that Zoroaster supplied. And actually, there's a series of Saoshyans, but possibly 12 of them for every millennium. But the final one is born when a virgin bathes in that lake and unwittingly becomes pregnant with the Seoshayans, the final judge and benefactor.
Wow, that's kind of interesting because back in the day, me and my brother used to have girlfriends in the jacuzzi in the backyard. And we used to say, I hope to God my mom never goes swimming in this jacuzzi, and God forbid she's pregnant with her own kids. Talk about some biblical stuff, right? There's lot all over it.
Yeah.
Mic check. Give me a 9 up in the chat if I can be heard, family. Give me a 9 up in the chat if I can be heard. Oh, we cooking with the vortex today. Yeah, oh yeah, we cooking with the vortex today, boy. Everything from religious killings down to even how the concepts of hell and the lake of fire evolved over the years, and then jump fences from one religion to the next. And man. It's wild. It's wild. Good to see y'all in the building. Bless up the book of judgment. This is the title today, the book of judgment. The creator's wisdom is for our benefit. Our benefit. Tap in. Put on some of these jewels. Spiritual bling. Let's go ahead and ride. Y'all know how I like to start. I like to start with an appetizer before we bring out the full course meal, you dig? So I like to go ahead and bring that on out, see what everybody else talking about. And let's dive on in and get the maneuver and drop these light bombs where they need to get dropped at. I see y'all in the building. Bless up, Dreadful Cosmine in the building. My Cali Connect. Bless up. My sister Lisa Edwards and my brother Yada El Yon in the building. Bless up. Leroy K. Bezel, my brother from the A. Bless up. Blessings to you and your fam. True beauty for ashes. Bless up. Shalom to everybody. Shalom to everybody in the building. Bless up. BC in the building. Emma Robbie Dobson in the building. Stephanie Pretty Face Randall in the building. Mahaya Yasha Aflo Ride in the building. Ema Ahuba City of Compton Hub City in the building. Kila Olam Kazdo, the House of Troy Thomas in the building. Bless up. My dirty South brethren. Birmingham, Alabama. Bless up. Print Blake, the Shire. Ben Israel. Blessings. I see y'all in the building. Whether you be friend or foe. You dig? Shalom and blessings to you. Shout out to the haters, jaw jackers and naysayers. Yeah. We love y'all too. My brother VP, man. Bless up. What's the word? My brethren. What's the word, brother? Keep standing strong, King. Keep standing strong. I see y'all in the building. Bless up. Bronze in the building. Bronze Yoke. Bless up. Bronze Yoke in the building. Bless up. Yehuda Israel in the building. Bless up. I see y'all. That's what's up, man. All praises to the Most High Creator, the ever-present Creator, the all in all, the always was, is, and ever shall be. Mighty Yahweh. You dig? I salute you all in the name of the Great Spirit. You dig? The Most High Creator. And let's go ahead and cook. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. I thought I'd bring this out too for y'all. This right here is something I've been reading. I don't know if y'all can see this. Maybe we can back it up a little taste. I can't even see. Right there. Field Guide to the Spirit World. Dr. Susan Martinez, PhD. Right, and it says the science of angel power, discarnate entities, and demonic possession. You dig? I start reading this deal is off the chain. You dig? Off the chain. I think that it goes well with that first video we was looking at. You dig? That deal go hard. All right, so let's get into this. Your boy Man Los Angeles in the house. Oh, okay, LA in the building. Blessings, fam. Blessings, blessings, blessings. All right, let's get into this. All right, let's get some of this wisdom. It's all for our benefit anyway, so you feel me? Let's get it done. All right, Book of Judgment, chapter 24. If y'all been following, this is what we've been in lately, the Book of Judgment. I thought we finished last video, but I went back and watched the video before that one, and I had stopped around chapter 24. So we got like chapters like 24 to like 33 to cover. And then we'll be done with the Book of Judgment. We done ran through the Book of Discipline. We almost done with the Book of Judgment, and we'll get into some more. You dig? So right on for taking this ride with your brethren. You feel me? Let me make sure y'all can see. Everybody cool? They said I can be heard. All right, let me make sure we blow this deal on up and let's work. Let's cook with the vortex, baby. Let's go ahead and work. All right, so what are some of the spiritual nuggets of jewels we're dealing with today? Chapter 24, Book of Judgment. Look at this. God shows how to know. Not how to believe or not how to think. How to know the kind of angels that minister to mortals. See? So, yeah, you'll know based off reading certain scriptures that angels are ministering servants. To minister just means to serve. All right. Now you're going to learn how to know the kind of angels, what types, how to have a direct knowledge of the types of angels that serve mortals. Ooh-wee. That's a benefit. You need that. You need to know what kind of angels or spirits that you are in league with or in agreement with. Don't you need to know that don't you think this is very imperative to know on your spiritual journey? After all, everybody's opening up some type of doorway these days. You feel me? Don't you need to know what you dealing with, who you dealing with? Like, you just out here willy-nilly talking about you done ascended and tapped in and opening this and all right, that's what's up. But don't you need to know who outside though? Don't you need to watch out for the jack boys and the police and the scam artists and the hood rats and the don't you need to know how to dodge, or at least how to deal with and dismiss any of these who are dealing in these low vibratorial spirits? You need to know that. So this is saying God shows how to know. You see, it's practical. What we read is practical, all right? How to know the kind of angels that minister or serve mortals. God said, I have given one rule to all men. I have given one rule to all men by which it may be known, not thought, not believed, by which it may be known what kind of angels minister to them. That rule is a mortal's own manifestations and behavior. So watch me put you on game real quick, right? There's only one rule that applies to all mortals. The behavior you manifest. You see that? The behavior you manifest, the behavior you reveal proves what kind of angels minister to you, or proves what kind of angels or spirits that you are in agreement with or in league with. You see how simple that is? You thought you need to know calculus or chemistry or trigonometry. No. There's only one rule to all men, by which it may be thought or guessed. No, known what kind of angels serve them. That rule is a mortal's own manifestations and behavior. Look, we can't get past verse 1 without getting some understanding. So if you got some understanding, give me an 8 up in the chat. Now you know. You can look at yourself, you can judge yourself and those outside you by studying behavior. If you're dealing with behavior, you're dealing with the mind. So now we're dealing with a science called what? Psychology. Because psychology, psyche, mind, right? Ology means study of. Psychology means study, the study of the mind. All right? Behavior, how you act, how you conduct yourself, is a byproduct of what you're thinking, the mind. You see that? So based off the behavior one manifests proves what kind of angel one is in agreement with or lead with. Angel or angels. And I see 8s up in the chat. You see how easy that was? Simple and yet so deep, man. Verse 2. Whoever manifests serving himself chiefly has little light for my organic kingdoms. But whoever serves Yahweh by laboring, working for others, with all his wisdom and strength, is attended by the light of my organic kingdom. So that right there makes you do some inward work, don't it? That makes you do inward work. That makes you say, dang, okay, I really need to start being more circumspect about serving myself. If you ain't careful, it'll be all about you. You dig? Because that's what this world breeds. It breeds competitors. That's what capitalism breeds. It breeds competitors. Right? I gotta look better than you, be taller than you, run faster than you, have a bigger house than you, have a finer woman than you, more money than you, more popular than you. See, so it's easy in this setup, in this system, this construct. It's real easy to only think for self. Right? But whoever serves the Creator by laboring for others with all his wisdom and strength is attended by the light of my organic kingdoms. I mean, the light of YAH'S on that brother or sister. Because they've made salvation about others, not themselves. And they realize the fastest way to advance, you dig, and really get toward what the Creator has for us, you dig, it's about abnegation of self. It's about denial of self. And you becoming an asset to the community or the nation or the brotherhood or whatever it is that you're part of. You know what I mean? We need to be looking the best way or finding out the best way to become an asset. What's the best way that I can develop myself, develop a skill? Most of us don't even have skills. You know what I mean? If you think about it, and if you don't have a skill, you can't be productive. You don't have anything to produce. You see, we need to work on becoming assets to the brotherhood, assets to the community, assets to our nation, assets to the gang. You dig? And if you find yourself in a position where you're not producing nothing, then it's time to develop a skill. It's never too late. It's never too late to develop a skill and perfect that deal. And then use that to teach others, you know what I mean, who come inquire. So again, notice that the one attended by the light of the organic kingdoms are those laboring for others. Dang, we in verse 3. Judge yourself, oh man, to know who and what angels attend you. See, so now you got to judge yourself. Right? Now you got to do the inward work. That's that work everybody's scared of. You don't want to do the inward work. You be too busy pointing outside and blaming everybody else for your shortcomings. Right? Watch me telling you, look, eventually you got to judge yourself. Right? Ask yourself, am I selfish or selfless? Right? Do I even ask the Creator to allow me? I desire to work for others more than myself. I desire to be an asset to the squad. You know what I mean? Guide my hand, Creator, that I may serve others in righteousness to the best of my ability and all wisdom and all that. We don't even be saying that. You dig? So the thing about it, the organic kingdoms of the Creator is not nothing that's self-centered. You know what I mean? You get there by you uniting with other like-minded individuals and everybody serving each other in righteousness. So you got to judge yourself to know what kind of angels attend you. All right. What kind of inspirations are leading you? Is it selfish? Is it angry? Is it self-centered? Is it all about, praise and boastfulness? And what is it about? Or is it about serving others in righteousness, removing the idols and false deities and exposing that? Purity of body. Like, what is it about? You can judge yourself. All right. To know, not to guess. This ain't lick your finger scholarship. All right. Now you know, and it's all based off behavior. Ooh-wee. Behold, one man will say to you, I have a band of wise and most ancient angels who attend me. Another will say, I have very gods who attend me. Do not judge them by their words, nor by the names professed. See, all that don't even fly. This is no fly zone over here. The creator gang is the no fly zone around it. You're not gonna get that off just because you come around saying something. You know what I mean? Or you got you a certain pronunciation. You ain't gonna get that off. And you use that as something to further keep the people divided because you pronounce a name a certain way. We ain't finna roll with that. Do not judge them by their words, nor by the names professed, but judge them by the work they accomplish. Nevertheless, hold your peace in regard to them. See, so it's letting you know, arrive at a judgment within your mind, you know what I mean, about them. But we not tripping off none of the cap though. All the lip fumbling and side jawing and who you claim leading you. No, what the book of judgment say? Huh? Judge him by the work and keep it to yourself. See, you don't got to go flying off at the mouth every time you see something that's off. Some things you hold your peace on. But you already arrived at an understanding in your mind that, oh, yeah, that's all cap right there. He lip fumbling over there. Yeah. That sound good. You dig? It sound good, right? So what are you giving as a measuring stick? The work they accomplish. And you arrive at a judgment within your mind based off the work that gets accomplished, not by a name, not by bragging and being boastful. Look at the fruit it produces. Look at this. I also give this rule to you in regard to the angels who attend mortals. As for example, you know that a soldier is not permitted to go away from his regiment and pursue other employment. The soldier belongs to his regiment. He is one with the regiment. He moves with it. The affairs and business of the regiment are his affairs and business also. It is even so with my organic heavens. See, so you got something you can look at. Any ex-soldiers or soldiers out there. See how devoted, see how quoted and devoted you got to be to that. See, so there's something that you can see every day, whether it's on TV or whether you've been through the experience, that you can compare to the organic heavens or the heavenly kingdoms. It is even so with my organic heavens, where Essenes become volunteers to accomplish resurrection. And Essene is a newborn spirit. Become volunteers to accomplish resurrection. And after that, they apply themselves not to isolated development, but to what? Affiliation. That's that come together. You got to come together and become affiliated, uniting brotherhoods. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. And move out mob deep. You ain't getting to the higher heavens isolated by yourself. I just can't deal with people. You got to come to a realization certain folks gonna get on your nerves. I'm pretty sure I get on the gang of people's nerves, the gang of y'all nerves. You got to deal with me though. That's what it is. But affiliation, you got to unite. Affiliation and righteous works. That's how you ascend higher and higher. All right, you ain't getting there being old, you know what I mean, the lonely king at the top. You can shut out the water like that. You only going so far. And after that, they apply themselves not to isolated development, but to affiliation for attaining to what? The higher kingdom. You see, so when you see come out of her and be separate, or everybody gathering together and mobilizing into communities and all that, that's righteous because that's the blueprint for what the heavenly kingdoms look like and how they are administered and how they move. The angels of the creator move out mob deep. They ain't coming dolo. They come deep. You see what I'm saying? They live in brotherhoods and all that. They not isolated. See, so the whole communal living is a blueprint. Most don't know that. Is a blueprint to what the heavenly kingdoms. It's just a microcosm. It's a small example of how the heavenly kingdoms are ran. You feel me? And being city dwellers, y'all, the cities ain't gonna do nothing but descend further and further into darkness. Everybody knows that. Ain't nothing good coming to the cities. Eventually, you got to come up out of this dark place. You know what I mean? Mobilize together and share resources and move out as a unit. You know what I mean? Even when it come down to things that got to get done, like we put all that up on the board and attack it as a gang, as a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Okay, this is what bro and them got going on. This is what Cosmo and Cal got going on coming up this week. And we all pour all our energy and spirit and resources into making sure Cal P get that done. You know what I mean? All right, this is what Daryl Cosmo, this is what Cosmo and Goddess. This is what Cosmo and Goddess got going on this week. You know what I mean? Ain't no individual efforts. This is what the gang got going on. You know what I mean? Like his business is our business. Her business is our business. So we all take our efforts and our energy and our spirit and our resources, and we guess what? We concentrate on getting Cosmo and Goddess and what she got going on done. That's how you move. That's how the heavens move. That's how the angels move. We ain't getting nothing done because we ain't following the blueprint, y'all. We got the blueprint. We don't just got something to say come out of her. It's telling you why I'm telling you to come out of her. You know what I mean? Right? You want to be, you want to inherit the heavenly kingdoms and beyond, and there's a way that mortals must move to achieve that. It ain't no individual resurrections, like on that sense, on that plane. Ain't no individual. It's like it's a gang of brides and bridegrooms. You know what I mean? They graduate or resurrect. It's a gang of them. All right, so look at this right here. Verse 11. The least of my organic kingdoms contains 500 million angels, and many of them contain 5 billion. Do y'all hear this? You getting descriptions about the heavenly kingdoms and all that, and how to attain to these kingdoms. 500 million is 500 million, the least. The least of my organic kingdoms contains 500 million angels, and many of them contain 5 billion. What is we even talking about here? Look at this. Those are composed of thousands of branches suited to the various talents created withal, so that all who enter find a delightful adaptation. So that all who enter find a delightful adaptation. Look at this. When you were taught of old to say, may your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, it was instruction given to lead you in the method of my dominions. See, methodology is supposed to be revealed to you. How it happens. How the kingdom works. How it is administered. So if we ask you the proceedings of the gods and the lords and the Lord gods, you have no answers for us, chapter and verse. If we ask you about the timetables and prophecy and the arc cycles and the names, and you don't got no answers. If we ask you about the primary and secondary education for mortals, does your system provide a primary and secondary education for mortals once they cross over? You have no answers. This is telling you you were instructed to say that so it would lead you into how these things happen, how the dominions are ran, how the dominions are administrated. You see? The Creator don't want you out here plumb dumb, running around bumping your head on everything. No, can't get right. When you were taught of old to say, may your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, it was instruction given to lead you in the method of my dominions. That's cold, man. As to wandering spirits, you need to know about that, right? Wandering spirits, where you think all this paranormal hunters and ghost hunters and paranormal activity come from? These are wandering spirits, y'all. Here you go getting scared. The spirit realm is even more of a reality than what you can tangibly see. Look at this. As to wandering spirits, they have not yet passed the inorganic, the GMO first resurrection. Sit your monkey ass down somewhere. See, you need to know that. You in a time when everybody talking about they talking to their ancestors and Orishas and Oshuns and Voodoos and deity worship and gods and angels and demons. Look, you need to know what's going on, don't you? Don't you need to know what types of angels and what types of spirits these are? And if they're hostile towards you or for you, don't you think you need to know all this? I mean, after all, you're burning sage every 4 nanoseconds because you believe that wards off evil spirits. And it may or it may not. I ain't dissing nobody for that. I'm saying, why is we talking about the spirit realm like it's just a pie in the sky theory? Like it's, this little house on the prairie. It's just all, shits and giggles. Don't you need to know that there are spirits out there that are hostile towards you? Don't you need to know these things? As to wandering spirits, they have not yet passed the GMO, the inorganic first resurrection. But those who have enlisted in my organic kingdoms are called Essenes. Shout out to the Essenes. Essenes over here mean newborn spirit. And we want to be enlisted in the organic kingdoms of the Creator. That's what we aiming to be at. We're not trying to be in no GMO inorganic kingdom. No, we cool. Essenes, while learning, look at this, who have listed in my organic kingdoms are called Essenes, while learning the rights and disciplines. So you mean to tell me once you cross over, there's further education, there's further advancement. You don't go to sleep. There's further advancement. The Creator needs you or may call on you to do something for him in some other world. Raise up others beneath you. Look at this. While learning the rights and discipline, and are said to be in the first resurrection of the organic heavens. And those who have become organic workers are in the second resurrection. And this is the kingdom of heavens, plural. Second resurrection is the kingdom of heavens. Y'all see that? A kingdom of heavens. Oh, wait. Verse 15. Look at this right here, verse 15. This rule is also uniform in all my heavenly kingdoms with an S. Y'all see this? That after entrance to the organic heavens, none of the angels return as what? Individuals. See, so now you understand this. Like, hold on, like who you really been communicating with? Who you really been chopping it up with? I mean, you've been having your spiritual experiences. I'm not the one to doubt you have. But it's like this OSP is exposing the false gods, y'all, everywhere. Everywhere. You dig? It need to come with a warning sign on the front of it for real. Warning, warning, warning. You dig? But the false deities and gods has been hiding in the thickets. It's been hiding in the thickets this whole time. Hiding in the minds, the dark recesses of the minds of our people this whole time is being exposed. You dig? The false gods are getting the draw snatched off their monkey ass. And it's marvelous watching it. Look at this. This rule is also uniform in all my heavenly kingdoms, that after entrance to the organic heavens, none of the angels return as individuals to commune with mortals, except as mentioned further on, or except when specially commissioned by me or my Lord. So for the most part, you dig, once they become high raised, you dig, and make it to that second resurrection, ain't no more coming back to holler at you as an individual. And if that's happening, those are not angels that is on the side of the Creator. Wait, look at this. Look at this. Do not think that my discipline is less systematic than that of a mortal general's army, or that the heavens of your God are permitted to run at loose ends and without order or concert of action. Be reasonable, man. You see that? He's like, nah, how is it that mortal armies are disciplined and structured, but the heavens of your God is not? Make that make sense. Be reasonable, old man. Weigh these things according to your own observation and judgment. For there is not in all the heavens any wide departure for what you have in some form a counterpart resemblance on earth. Y'all see this? So the earth is to prepare you for the spiritual realm. You're in practice right now. And almost everything that you've seen in front of you is somewhat of a shadow or a representation of what you can't see. You see that? If y'all getting some understanding so far, give me a 7 up in the chat. Bless up, bless up, bless up. You dig? The book of Judgment, chapter 25 in the building. Y'all see the title? Y'all see the title of the book of Judgment? The Creator's wisdom is for our benefit. Benefit, headshot, body blow. You see that? Be reasonable, old man. Weigh these things according to your own observation. You need to be knowing a thing and judgment. For there is not in all the heavens any wide departure from what you have in some form, a counterpart resemblance on earth. Just like when you were born here, want their guardians or parents to receive you, want their hospitals to receive you, want their attendants to receive you. Isn't there an education system set up for your advancement? And you see, there's no wide departure from what you have in some form of counterpart resemblance on earth. You as a newborn mortal, one day you'll be a newborn spirit. Ooh wee. So this is more of a decoder. No reason to be mad at the decoder. Ain't no reason to be mad at Watch because it's bringing more answers than you got questions. What you mad about? Slanderous jaw Negroes mad at the decoder. Something that's here to decode something for you. No reason to be mad in the building. Big bless up. Chapter 25. God shows how and when. So he's going to show the methodology. Shows how and when the second resurrection manifests to mortals. Benefit. Headshot. Vrah! Body blow. Body blow. Look at this. These are things you need to know. Right? You need to know when the higher resurrections reveal themselves to mankind? God said, in the cities and country places, I have innumerable lords, apportions the districts and to the mortals and angels within them. See, Lord, and that's one thing. A lord is like one of the lowest ranks you can have as a spirit. Not the lowest. I mean, it takes about 200 years to become one, but you know what I mean? It's wild because a lot of people, when you hear Lord or Lord God, a lot of people believe that's the creator. And we're here to tell you a Lord is beneath a Lord God, and a Lord God is beneath a God. Right? And God is a son of the creator. God answers to the creator. So when you hear lords and all that, it's putting everything into its proper perspective. Right? And today men are called lords. You know, the Lord of Edinburgh and all this madness. Look at this. God said, in the cities and country places, I have innumerable lords, apportion the districts and to the mortals and angels within them. And my lords know the rates and grades of their people, their occupations, aspirations, labor, and behavior, private and public. So it's letting you know there are angelic ambassadors around who hold the title of Lord or lords, right? And they know each and every last one of our grades, our rates, our spiritual grades at all, our rates, how we work, our aspirations, all that. Everything's being recorded, right? Now, behold, I have said to my lords, the era of dictation is past. Man has arrived at Cosmos. Declare the light of my heavens to man. Declare the light of heavens to man. Declare the light of my heavens to man. But let man judge himself and labor to save himself, so that by this he may have honor and glory. See, so your salvation is proactive. It's not you sitting back waiting on nobody. Declare the light of my heavens to man, but let man judge himself and labor, work to save himself, so that by this he may have what? Honor and glory. Nothing wrong with you being having honor and glory. You're just not to be worshipped. There's nothing wrong with you celebrating life or the accomplishments of your loved ones. They're just not to be worshipped. That's it. That's it. And I further said to my lords, man has prayed, saying, your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Now I give this to you, that where men abnegate self, you need to know this. We're talking about the organic kingdoms, not the GMO kingdoms, right? Now I give this to you, that where men deny self and affiliate into a communal brotherhood after the manner, just like the manner, just like the example of my heavenly kingdoms with an S. You shall then affiliate my organic angels with such mortals and make them one with my second resurrection. So create a gang. Y'all already see what we got to do. It's time to get proactive in this junk. It's time to get proactive. There it is right there, that's the blueprint. Right in your face. There it is right there. Y'all see the blueprint? Not only do you see it, do you understand it? If you understand the blueprint, give me a 6 up in the chat. There it is right there. That's how we affiliate or gather with even the organic angels. That's how we'll know for a fact that the angels of the higher resurrections are affiliated or dealing directly with us. There it is right there. And look what it's about. We ain't read nothing evil yet. Look what it's about. The abnegation of self. So there's no being selfish. You can't bring that around us. Can't be selfish. I owe you to do good unto you, to be selfless, to serve you in righteousness. Look at this. Now I give this to you, that where men abnegate self and affiliate into a communal brotherhood, meaning we live in community, live amongst each other. You know what I mean? Separated from the cities and all that, and live amongst each other. All right? Just like the example, after the manner of my heavenly kingdoms, you shall then affiliate my organic angels with such mortals. Bag drop, boy. What are you talking about? And make them one with my second resurrections. I'm trying to become one with the second resurrections. I don't know about nobody else. So what we got to do? Now the blueprint is right there. Shout out to my brother Cosmo Cal. You're exactly right. That's how you totally obliterate the capitalistic construct that enslaves us all. Think about it. You one check away. We, not you, we one check away from being homeless. Right? Capitalism breeds competitors. It don't breed the heavenly kingdoms, because I got to compete against you in capitalism. I can't never really love someone I'm in competition with. Not fully. You dig? I can't fully love you like I love myself if I'm in competition with you. You see that? Capitalism breeds competitors. I gotta look better than you, be taller than you, have a bigger house than you, drive a faster car than you, have a better looking woman than you, have more money than you, have a better hustle than you. Been shot more times than you. Right? This right here is showing you how to defeat all that. Capitalism breeds competitors, and if I'm competing against you, I can never truly love you as I love myself. Never can. Right? That's how you know that's not of the creator. It's not of the creator. All right. And we all want to be affiliated with the organic angels of the second resurrections, right? And higher, right? All right, well, y'all see what we got to do. There the blueprint is right there. I technically get in the class. Now it's time to go apply it. Look at this. Look at this. And you shall surround such communal brotherhoods with the light of my kingdoms. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. And you shall surround such communal brotherhoods with the light of my kingdoms, controlling the angelic intercourse with mortals. See, we come up out of the O's or the cities, right? come together in community, a communal brotherhood, fraternity, gang, whatever you want to call it, in righteousness and all that. You dig? Deny self, work for others, and guess what? We become affiliated with the angels of the higher resurrections and highest. You dig? And guess what? The gates of heaven become open because now we got angelic discourse or intercourse between us and the angels being controlled. Look at this. So that drudges and vampire spirits cannot molest or harm them. And you shall surround such communal brotherhoods with the light of my kingdom. So the light of the creative kingdom surrounds us. Y'all see that? We come together and we become fortified. We become protected, surrounded with the light of the creator's kingdoms. Why? Controlling the angelic intercourse with mortals. Why? So that drudges, dark and wandering spirits, drudges and vampire spirits cannot harm us. Look at this. And these brotherhoods shall be taught to not question the spirits and oracles on personal matters. Y'all know the personal matters like, I need to do this to do that. You know, personal matters. You know what I mean? I want the Powerball numbers. You know, we gonna go all out with it. Give me them Powerball numbers, nigga. I'm about to go ahead and rock. Right? But yeah, so we believe in spirit communion, but you're never to communicate with the spirit concerning advancement in earthly matters. You can ask the creator to guide your hand as you go out on your quest to perfect yourself. That way you may become a benefit to others. Guide your hand and all that. But you know, when it comes down to advancement in physicality, and you understand, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So no, you're not supposed to be communing for Powerball numbers. You know what I mean? Or anything earthly. You're supposed to be communing about wisdom and healing and love and protection and peace and righteousness, and you know what I mean? That's how you're supposed to be in communication. You dig? Not about nothing earthly. You dig? None of that. Let me win the bet between this and that. Look at it. And these brotherhoods shall be taught to not question the spirits and oracles on personal matters, but for light and truth. Y'all see that? But for light and truth as to what will contribute to ameliorating or improving, mitigating, remedying, bettering. Now we communicate with the spirits about light and truth as to what will contribute to improving the condition of man. What we ain't heard nothing evil yet. You milly mouth Negroes. Look at it, we ain't read nothing evil. You want to rap about, you want to, be in contact with the angels or the angelic presence that the creator has around you, then it need to be about light and truth and ways that you can contribute into improving your fellow man. Not no Powerball numbers. Not that you win this bet. Nah. And as to light and truth regarding the higher and lower heavens, you won't understand it concerning what's up, what's down, what's in between. And as to attaining spiritual gifts and great wisdom. And these mortals shall have times and places for worshipful matters. And these times shall be in concert with my Lord of that district. And the light of his throne shall be given to such a brotherhood. Wow. The members of such a brotherhood shall not desire a leader. Y'all see this? So none of us are your leaders. We just your brothers. Not your leader at all. And trip out this, don't want to be. You know, if you knew the bondage of a king or a queen or a general or a captain or a pastor, if you knew the bondage of any of that, you wouldn't want to be there, especially when you cross over. Oh, wait, look at this. The members of such a brotherhood shall not desire a leader, neither will any one of them desire to be a leader. For if one should so desire, he would not be of the Godhead, but of himself. So, you need to look around in your organizations You did. A lot of these millie mouth slanderers, Joe Nick Rose, lusting for control, lusting for power, lusting to lead you and be seen and collect tights. These niggas call them tights now. I heard not tads, but tights. Collect tights and registration fees and you know, all these extra madness. Watch that. Do the brothers and sisters around you have a lust to lead you somewhere? A lust to be heard all the damn time? Shut your ass up. Hell, you always running your mouth up. Look at this right here. Moreover, none of the members of such a brotherhood shall go off. None of the members of such a brotherhood shall go off of his own accord to minister as an individual to the inhabitants of Uz. Not Uz is like the city places, the dark places, you know what I mean? High crime, high poverty, you know what I mean? High drug use, that's Uz. All right? So none of the members of such a brotherhood shall go off of his own accord to minister as an individual to the inhabitants of Uz, but each and all in the brotherhood shall concentrate their profits and force to one focus and objective. Methodology, y'all. And look, in Creator Gang, it's a gang of us that got different things going on. Y'all, we supposed to be attacking our individual endeavors together as a gang, as a brotherhood. We going off. You know what I mean? C-Law shouldn't be attacking Atlanta's Ugly by himself. Like, we should be all like behind him. Like, hey, look, what we need to get done. You dig? This is what we focusing on for the next 2 weeks. Let's get this done. Cosmo and Cal shouldn't have to be dealing with what he's dealing with by himself. Bron, Joe, you know what I mean? None of the brothers and sisters. Iman them, Deshaun LaFay, none of the brothers and sisters. We got the blueprint. We attack it as a concentrated force. And you look up, everything that we touch turn to gold. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because we're applying the blueprint, right? You mobilizing into a brotherhood and doing that, or into community and doing that because it's strength in numbers. You know what I mean? Now you can make something move out here. You see what I'm saying? Now you got somebody's attention. But as long as you get, trying to be an individual, look at me. That's not going nowhere. Eventually, that's gonna plateau off, and you're gonna keep bumping your head. You see what I'm saying? You only go so far as an individual. All right. So whatever any one of us got going on, we all supposed to be focused on that. You know what I mean? With all of our focus and energy behind that, and all our resources going to getting that done. Like I say, it may be for C-Law that week. It may be for Cosmo and Kyle the next week. It may be for Imar Huba the next week. It may be for Sister Keela and now, or Deshaun, or whoever. You see what I'm saying? Whoever got anything going on, we as a concentrated force, sons and daughters of the Creator, need to be focused on that. We put all our energy, all our time, and all our resources into getting that done. All right, check that off the board. Go to the next mission. Who got something? Who up for next week? Let's get that done. Man, we be out here. I'm telling y'all, man, we out here to mess around and broke the internet around this deal. All right, we got the blueprint. All right, if y'all understand, that's how we supposed to move as a concentrated brotherhood, a concentrated force with one focus and one vision on one objective. If y'all understand that, give me a 5 in the chat. And this is why we supposed to move like this. Look at this. My organic heavens are also like this. All the members of each heaven being as a unit with the whole. They do not waste their strength and time in isolated endeavors. Y'all hear this? Bag drop, boy. Bag drop. Brothers and sisters make clothes and make jewelry and make teas and herbs and whatever we got going on. Whatever we got that we need to put out, make videos and lessons and fun, whatever it is that we got going on, any one of us got going on. You dig? We should not be attacking it isolated. Why? Because the organic heavens, you dig, the higher angels don't move like that. And we got to get on the same vibration as them to be a part of that, to enlist into the second resurrection. That's hard. We got the blueprint. See, it ain't just telling you that they all came and laid their stuff at the disciples' feet. No, it's telling you, this is why I'm telling you, mobilize like this. Come out of ooze, you dig? Come into a communal brotherhood, affiliate yourselves, share resources, and attack whatever y'all got going as a concentrated force. You dig? And you have nothing to worry about. Why? Because the light of my kingdoms will be surrounding you, and the angels of my higher resurrections will be with you. We got the blueprint. Angels don't waste their times in isolated endeavors. Well, that's hard, boy. Bag drop. Not just, come out of her and be ye separate. It's telling you, look, this why. And think about this, y'all. Look at the benefit behind it. It's giving you the actual methodology to straight defeat capitalism or defeat white supremacy or to defeat racism in general. And it ain't like we ain't seen these things happen. The Mexicans do this all the time. It ain't like what we're reading. You haven't seen it happen before. But see, you know what really needs to happen? A transformation inside. We got to become selfless, not selfish. You got to destroy that self. Look, ain't no nation, no brotherhood, no kingdom going anywhere being selfish. We got to learn to be selfless. And once we learn that, then you can see how 50 Mexicans can stay in a one-bedroom apartment and 2 years later own the block. 2 years later, you working for them. Y'all, this is how the heavens work. You dig? You getting wisdom today. You getting understanding. It ain't just you hearing something and then, okay, yeah. No, you understand the methodology. How the proceedings, how the heavens work, how to know what kind of angels are serving you. You learning how to be practically disciplined and practically involved in your own salvation and resurrection and judgment. Wait. I want to read 9 and 10 together again. Moreover, none of the members of such a brotherhood shall go off of his own accord to minister as an individual to the inhabitants of Uz, but each and all in the brotherhood shall concentrate their profits, their resources, and force to one focus and objective. My organic heavens are also like this. All the members of each heaven being as a unit with the whole, they do not waste their strength and time in isolated endeavors. Ball game. So if a prophet foolishly boasts to you as to having some high-raised angel with a loud-sounding name as his special guardian and guide, you will know that prophet is in the hands of drudges who have not entered my heavenly kingdom. Sit your monkey ass down somewhere, boy. What I'm telling y'all is, a lot of people claim they in contact with whoever they claim they in contact with. And what I'm telling y'all is, OWASP is exposing all the false deities that you're dealing with. You call them your spiritual guides and your ancestors and all that. And y'all, these ain't nothing but low vibrating drudges. These cats ain't raised up past the first grade. You ain't been dealing with no high-raised angels. How do we know? Because once you get to a certain level, they move out mob deep. They come as an army. So who you been hollering at? And what they been hollering at you about? Is it about denial of self? Is it about righteous works done unto others? Is it about methodologies and ways to improve mankind's condition? Is it about any way to get, to alleviate crime and poverty and drug addiction? Is it about any of that? Is it about you perfecting yourself so you can become an asset to humanity? Is it about any of that? If it ain't, guess what you've been dealing with? Guess who you've been hollering at, Bobo? Yeah. You've been hollering at Slick Willie and them. So if a prophet foolishly boasts to you after having some high-raised angel, and I know a Negro boy, ooh wee. I know an elder. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I know an elder. Made his boast of all that. Or if a prophet foolishly boasts to you as to having some high-raised angel with a loud-sounding name as his special guardian and guide, you will know that prophet is in the hand of drudges who have not entered my heavenly kingdom. Sit your monkey ass down somewhere, boy. You know what I mean? Look at this right here, verse 12. Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Oh, wee, boy. You got to ask yourself, especially everybody that's been sharing their spiritual experiences, who they been hollering at? Because most of them will tell you it's been one angel or one spirit guy. Who you been hollering at and what's the message? See, over here, we're trained to ask an angel or a spirit, what up, though? What you got for me? What's the message? And we ain't tripping off none of that. We ain't tripping off how they look. We ain't tripping off no name they saying. We only listening for what's coming off them lips. What's up? Because that's gonna tell me everything I need to know. He telling you, like, look, who you been dealing with ain't even entered my heavenly kingdom. They still here on the earth. They're wandering spirits. They're drudges. Y'all see that? Oh, wait. Look at it right here. Nor has it ever happened on the earth with any individual man raised up by me or my Lord for a specific work like Moses, Caius, Kyle, or any other, that they knew of or boasted of any special angel over them. But all of them experienced the light, which was as a pillar of fire. Huh? No way. Look at this right here. Even such is the manifestation of the second resurrection through my Lord and his holy council. And the manifestations are not like those of a mere magician, but the accomplishment of something that embraces nations, empires, and mighty peoples. Again, to even know that you're dealing with a certain type of angel, that's all based off the work that's produced. That's all based off behavior. And look what it's talking about, the accomplishment or the work of something that embraces nations, empires, and mighty peoples. For this reason, oh man, I declare to you that the Father's kingdom is now being founded on earth, and the mortal manifestation of it is near at hand. But it shall not come in this era as in the past, through any one great leader forth, but it shall appear as a spontaneous light, permeating the soul of thousands. And you wonder why you hearing this light and receiving this light. You wonder why everybody else believe you crazy. Look at this right here. It says, but it shall appear as a spontaneous light, permeating the soul of thousands, and they shall come forth, establishing the Creator in truth and fullness. Now, therefore, O man, consider the judgment of your God against all those who are called the best of men, the wisest of men, the greatest of kings, queens, or popes. For none of these have even passed the first resurrection in their own practice. Sit your monkey ass down, boy. Bag drop. Here you go kissing the Pope's ring. Here you go bowing to the whore Queen of England when she was living. Big Brother and them say, True God and them say, man, them cats that everybody is parading around and lip fumbling over, snotting at the nose over. Huh? None of these have even passed the first resurrection in their own practice. Ball game, boy. Man, when are we even talking about her? Man, that means the people you out here bigging up and celebrating like they so wise and all that. Creator, like, well, True God, Big Brother telling you, like, look, I know what's going on within the earth and the heavens of the earth. Because it's True God's job to administrate, to be the chief administrator of the heavens, of the earth and her heavens. So if anybody would know, you understand, True God would know. Huh? Consider the judgment of your God against all of those who are called the best of men, the wisest of men, the greatest of kings, queens, of popes. For none of these, not one, none of these have even passed the first resurrection in their own practice. Man, I'm getting some understanding today. If y'all getting some understanding, give me a 4 up in the chat, man. Bless up, bless up, bless up. Bless up, bless up, bless up. That's crazy because the name of my rap group is the Fourth Tribe. And, you know, now I know we in the land of the 4 tribe. You can't make this type of stuff up, man. Chapter 26, Judgment, Book of Judgment, chapter 26. Oh, I speak, sky, earth, spirit. All right. God judges the ascetic. Dang, boy. Everybody gets hit. Everybody gets hit. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait. Book of Judgment, chapter 26. God judges the ascetic. All right. Let's make it crack. Abundant blessings to everybody in the chat. Love and light. Love and light. All right. God said, there are those who shut themselves up in colleges, cloisters, and others who retire to the forests. Hey, hold on. Hold on. Okay, convents, nunneries, monasteries, ashrams, and hermitages. Hermetic. Hold on, man. Hold on. God said there are those who shut themselves up in colleges and others who retire to the forests, devoting their lives to prayers, confessions, rites, and ceremonies, being most systematic and routine, and in being shut away from the Uzians, the world's people. And they allot certain ones as leaders and overseers, making themselves inquisitors over one another, in the hope of purifying their thoughts and aspirations, constantly trapping one another for shortness, and then submitting to petty punishment and afflictions, hoping by this to check evil thoughts, words, and actions. Judgment is rendered against all such people. Judgment is rendered against all such people, whether they are mortals or angels. For these are the methods of the imprisonment of mind. All such mortals are preparing themselves for the bondage of demons, drudges, on their entrance into the S world. So y'all see that? Being in a brotherhood, which is a sisterhood as well. Being in a brotherhood, a fraternity, a gang, or whatever you want to call it, a community. All right, we are not to make ourselves inquisitors over each other and be submitting to petty punishments. Y'all see that? All right. Judgment is rendered against all such people, whether they are mortal or angels. And why? Why? For these are the methods of the imprisonment of mind. That's how you put someone in bondage. And the Creator is heavy. The Creator is totally against enslavement or bondage on all levels. Nah, you got free will. You got to make your choice and live with it. You got liberty, but with liberty comes responsibility. You ain't to take nobody's choice away from it. Hey, choose righteousness. All right, whatever you just know that whatever you spill, you got to clean up, Jack. You got to clean that. But you notice what it says. These are the imprisonments of mind. So you're not supposed to be we're not supposed to be making ourselves inquisitors over each other. All up in your personal life, judging you for every little shortcoming you got going on. No. And then if you have a little shortcoming, submit to a petty punishment. These are the methods of the imprisonment of mind. You understand that? And you're preparing yourself to be a slave to demons or drudges when you die. Look at this. Yes, even in that same college, they shall be immured after death by thousands of drudges who inhabit the place, who profess to have some scheme of projected salvation. All such people are the manifestation of darkness instead of light. The Creator created man with the capacity for developing talent to do good to others. The Creator created man with the capacity, the capability for developing talent to do good to others. Now behold, these ascetics labor for themselves in these foolish proceedings. They do not do these things in order to improve the condition of their neighbors, nor have they shown in a single instance where a benefit resulted to the state in consequence of their practices. What benefit has the state or the people benefited by someone going to live in a monastery? By you becoming a nun, what benefit has the world received behind it? You ain't benefiting them, hiding from them. Look at this. Look at this. They call their initiation sacred. And I declare to you, they are blasphemy against the Creator. They are like a trap. They are like a snare for the imprisonment of the mind and the soul. So all your little hazing rituals, the initiation rituals, even down to the gangs, getting put on, getting put off, DPs, disciplines. All those are methods to imprison the mind and the soul. You dig? You ever wonder what you got to go through all that just to be considered a part of this? Look at this. And after death, these people are prevented by their drudging or their demon or their devilish masters from entering heavenly places of resurrection, becoming instead slaves in the spirit world to pursue any calling and practice that may be put upon them. Yeah. You died entertaining all that. That same demon becomes your master in the spirit realm. You become subjected to them. See, so you get an understanding on why you're supposed to move a certain way and why you're supposed to neglect certain methodologies of initiation and all that. Because these are methods to imprison your mind and your soul. And once you cross over, you have a demonic slave master waiting on you. You see that? Look at this. Verse 10. For the same rule holds on earth and in heaven. For the same rule holds on earth and in heaven regarding the bondage of the mind. If by imposing rites and ceremonies and by the stratagems and cunning of mortal priests, they can be captured on earth, so can they also be retained in bondage in heaven. You heard that? Spiritual warfare is real. Being in the sunken place is real. Huh? Hypnotherapy and all that's real. Psychology, look, man, they didn't study the mind and they understand it. So just like a mortal priest through certain rites and ceremonies can capture your soul or your spirit or your mind and you become an unwilling servant to this so-called mortal priest, it's the same rule applies in the spirit realm. You can become a unwilling slave to a spirit or an angel. You see that? See, so now you're understanding, okay, if these certain type of behaviors manifest, I know what I'm dealing with. I know what I'm dealing with. Benefit, headshot, benefit. Look at this. And it happens with them that even as they honestly believe they are right on earth, so in heaven they will persist in believing they are right, even willingly submitting to cruelty and to torture in order to prove their fidelity, prove their loyalty, prove their righteousness. You done heard it before. You did. What you bind on earth is bound in heaven. What you loose on earth is loosed in heaven. Now you're getting further detail. How are you mad at something that's decoding something for you? The WASPy is the decoder. That's what it is. Should nobody be mad. Should nobody be mad. A WASPy is a decoder. You know what I mean? Read it and get your mind blown. Look at this. Verse 12. Be considerate, O man, of the words of your God. He who created you gave to you one store of life, by which you may determine truth and wisdom. Whatever doctrine shows self as the chief consideration, even if it is for obtaining wisdom or supposed purity for self's sake, for selfish reasons, is not of the Most High Creator. So now you can look around and check the doctrine you're a part of. Is self the chief consideration? I remember an elder told me years ago, man, close to 20 years ago, that salvation is selfish. And come to find out all these years later, that brother was wrong. It's actually selfless. You dig? And the majority of any religious devotion that you are seeing is based off fear. You don't want your chestnuts to roast forever. You do what you do because you don't want your chestnuts to roast forever. You don't want to burn forever. That's why you're devoted. It ain't based off because, you know what I mean, I love who I call the Lord and I just really love doing this. Majority of it's based off fear. Fear of what? Fear of burning forever. Fear of what they call going to hell. So again, that's about self too. Because you fear that you gonna burn if you don't believe something a certain way. You got to ask yourself, what kind of ever-present, all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving God or creator got to threaten you into service or threaten you into worship? How about a true God don't even want you to pray to him or worship him? A true God is your brother. You just want your brotherhood. See, we say stuff like that and get your mind blown. Like, hold on, yeah, do you worship a God? If you worship a God, then that's not the creator. You know what I mean? Hold on for a second, y'all. Oh wait. So look at this. Notice what it says right here. Whatever doctrine shows self as the chief consideration, even if it is for obtaining wisdom or supposed purity for self's sake, is not of the creator. And yet the aboriginal who roves foolishly in the forest stands higher before your God than the nun or the ascetic does. Do y'all hear this? For though the former lives for self only, yet he is not bound in the spirit. He's not a slave in the spirit. Y'all see that? He said somebody in still running around with a loincloth on. Y'all hear this? Someone still swinging through the jungle with a loincloth stands higher in grade before your God than the nun or the ascetic does. For though the former, the aborigine, lives for self only, yet he is not bound in spirit. He ain't bound in spirit. He's not a slave. Look at this. In all things, you shall weigh the object and end aimed at. Yeah, so consider it. You did play chess with the situation. You did. You need to be 10 steps ahead. All right, you need to consider the end. Okay, the outcome of that gonna be that. If this continues like this, you ain't supposed to just be out here just willy-nilly. You know what I mean? You out here just examining cloud patterns and ain't even considered the steps or the path that you got to take to get to where you're going. Right? Look at this. In all things, you shall weigh the object and end aimed at, and the final result. And where self stands as a part or a whole consideration, you shall know that matter is not of the Creator, but of Satan. It is not sufficient for the apologists of Satan to say, oh, we dwell in the colleges in order to pray for Uzians. Or the Uzians are the world's people. But you shall weigh their prayers also, and you shall estimate their value by what is accomplished. And you shall prove whether their prayers provided harvests of wheat and corn and food and clothing for the poor and education for the unlearned or any other thing that was good. Do not be put off by the cunning of Satan's words in the mouths of priests or popes, but look matters in the face. And be a God yourself. Bag drop, boy. But look matters in the face and be a God yourself in discerning things that ameliorate, that improve the condition of man. Whew. Whew. Boy, he said, don't trip off the prayers, trip off the work that got accomplished. Trip off the clothes that was provided. Trip off the food that was grown. Trip off the education and the advancement that happened with the unlearned. Huh? You supposed to look matters in the face and be a God yourself in discerning things that improve the condition of man. Yeah, y'all. So if we got the blueprint, we are charged with bringing or providing conditions that improve mankind systematically. You dig? Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Y'all get some understanding. Give me a 3 up in the chat. Bless up, bless up, bless up. Chapter 27. Chapter 27, God judges charities. Woof. We're getting wisdom today. We're getting jewels. We're learning how to practically apply. Don't just tell me what happened. How did it happen? How did it happen? Right? And then and being that we got the blueprint, we charge ourselves too. We challenge ourselves. You understand? To attack whatever we have going on, like the angels attack. What did we find out today? The angels attack a matter together as a concentrated force. They ain't dealing with all that individual endeavor. No, right? What you got going on over there, sister? Oh, yeah? Well, you got the gang behind you. So the gang need to put their entire spirit and energy and resources. We pull all that together and get that done for sis. You dig? Who we got up next week? You dig? Well, let's get them together. Everything we do is major. Everything we do is a light bomb. Everything we drop is a light bomb. Because we following the blueprint. You see? We following the blueprint. That means everything we do is going to be a light bomb. And that means we surrounded by the light of the heavenly kingdoms. And that means, you understand, that we are being directly inspired by the angels of the higher resurrection. We learning today. We learning methodology. This ain't lick your finger scholarship. This ain't no guesswork. You dig? And the beautiful thing about what we learning is we've seen what Owaspy is breaking down as what happens in spirit, we've seen flashes of it already being alive on earth, right? Because there's nothing that's happening in the earth that is not being resembled in the heavens. Chapter 27. Let's get into charity, right? A lot of us think charity is just giving somebody that's less fortunate $1, even though nothing wrong with it, but you still need to understand what charity is, a true charity, because there's something called false charity too. All right, we get some understanding. All right, y'all see my bros with the wrenches, Selah, Shalom, Cosmo, and Cal. Y'all go over there, like, subscribe, and share. Ahuba Lifestyle, like, subscribe, and share. The Bronze Yoke Report, like, subscribe, share. Creative Gang TV, like, subscribe, share. Now we out here. We out here. And there's countless of us. Dig? Let's get into it. God said a certain man built a dam across a river using only stones but no cement. And the water ran through the crevices, rendering the dam worthless. Then some neighbors came to him saying, you should apply cement to the crevices. So the man went to the lower side and applied cement, but lo and behold, the result was only temporary, for the water washed the cement away. Again, his neighbor said to him, apply the cement at the upper side and the water will carry it into the crevices where it will remain with good effect. And the man did so. And behold, the dam was a complete structure. Using the same principle, oh man. Using the same principle, oh man. Consider all charities. You may apply your riches and your estates for charity's sake, but be of no benefit under the sun. You see that? So everything ain't charity. You can't brag and talk about the Catholic charities. Everything ain't charity. Use the same principles, oh man. What principles? About the wall and the crevices and the cement, and how at first the wall was worthless. And then he applied it somewhere, but it still was somewhat worthless. It was only a temporary fix. But then when it finally was applied all over, it was a complete structure. You dig? So it's saying use that principle. You dig? You got to mortar or cement that entire wall so it can stand up against the rising tides of the water, right? So using the same principles, oh man, consider all charities. You may apply your riches and your estates for charity's sake, but be of no benefit under the sun. Just like the wall, the cement that was added to the wall was of no benefit. It was temporary. It was of no benefit until the whole wall was covered with cement. Same with your charity. You could give to someone, but really be of no benefit to them. You understand? That true about this. You could bless someone and they could take your blessing and use that to do harm to someone else. How is that charity on your part? Oh, wait, look at this. When the man applied the cement where it was not self-sustaining, the waters washed it away. Whether you apply charity and it is not self-sustaining, judgment is rendered against you. Bag drop, boy. Dang, that's crazy. Wherever you apply charity and it is not self-sustaining, judgment is rendered against you. When the man applied the cement toward the fountain, it became self-sustaining. Wherever you apply charity and it is self-sustaining, judgment is rendered in your favor. When you meet your neighbor on the road and he has fallen down and broken his legs and cannot stand, consider how foolish it would be to lift him up and then let him fall again. Do not flatter. Do not flatter yourself that such actions would be charity. So you can't act like you helped your neighbor. Man, I picked him up before. He just fell back down. No, it's foolish for you to pick him up and tell him to walk, and he just broke his legs. You picking him up did not benefit him. You see that? Look at this. And yet how much of the so-called charity of the world is of that kind? You may feed 3 drunkards' families and flatter yourself you have done charity worthily, but if you have not done that which will make them no longer in need of charity, you have done little. Yeah, okay, you may feed them for the night. Yeah, that's what's up. I ain't nothing wrong with that. Feed the homeless, all that. But if you have not done that which will make them no longer need charity or make them no longer depend on you, you have done little. So what is real charity, y'all? The old proverbial saying, you want me to feed your fish or teach you how to fish so you can learn to catch your own. The true charity would be the one who taught you how. Not just fed you, taught you how to feed your family and yourself. That's the true charity, right? The one that just fed you, he did little. You did, but the one who showed you how to feed yourself did great. See, so now we can re-examine what we call in charity, right? Have we even provided a remedy to anybody we help? You understand? Like we could be donating money to the situation and all that, but that brother with money is a disaster. It's a disaster. You know what I mean? He's gonna be in worse condition. It really takes for us to play chess with what we're doing to understand. You know what I mean? But how liberating and deep is that to know? Like if you ain't did nothing to make them no longer need you or need charity, you're only doing little. And here you go out, you done gave out a few bowls of soup. Nothing wrong with it. You understand? But they'll be right back down there needing you tomorrow. And you ain't in a position to do that every day. So how about we come up with a situation where we can get these brothers and sisters up out of poverty? See, that's what we need to be coming together and clashing minds about. Look at this. Another man may not feed them, but he may reform them and put them in the way to self-sustaining. Such a man will have done 100-fold greater charity. See that? Teaching you how to go get it. To open the way for employment in industry. This is the greatest of all charity. For by these avenues, charity will not be needed, even for the aged or for the orphans. Right? So our whole thing is faith is we're supposed to be providing systems, building systems, you understand, that alleviate poverty, crime, drug addiction, the like. Right? That way our people are not dependent upon us. All right? That way we can't say we gave the poor turkeys for Thanksgiving and that's charity. No. You know what I mean? You really want to aim at doing something for others to where they're self-sustaining and they don't constantly need you or need you anymore. Right? That's real charity. You dig? And you got to ask yourself about a lot of the elders. A lot of the elders know that and they don't want to do that. They don't want to get a game to the youngins. Right? But that's charity. That's real charity. That's how the heavens operate. That's how the angels move. You dig? I heard, should I give to you? Look, this is what you need to do. Bing, 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 bing. You dig? And coming from a place of sincerity within my heart, I want to see you do good. Hell, I want to see you do better than me. But this is what I caught going up in, and this is what I learned. And here it is right here. You see that? This is the greatest of all charity. For by these avenues, charity will not be needed, even for the aged or for the orphans. Consider then how little any people have to boast of for charity's sake. Facts. Who I heard boasting about charity? You got little to boast about because what you doing ain't provided them to become independent from you. Whatever you doing, they still dependent on you. That's why the United States can't brag that they give away food stamps. Because you're not providing a situation where they no longer need the food stamps. Consider then how little any people have to boast of for charity's sake. Even their asylums, poorhouses, and homes for the aged and helpless are as so many witnesses of condemnation against the people who built them. Because some great wrongs and evils existing within the state were also built by the same people in the first place. Here you go, financing the evil. Financing it. Oh, wait. Come to find out, we really ain't been doing no charity. Not for real. Because those people are still dependent on a charity, on some forms of charity. See, we're to be developing our people. Developing people, period. You know what I mean? Putting them in a way of being self-sustaining. Putting them in a way to where they can feed their families. Right? That's better. Look, that's 100 times better than just putting $10 in his pocket. And notice what it said. Whoever done did that done little. Dang. You know what I mean? Look at it right. Verse 17. They, the charities, are like paint and plaster for the sins of a wicked people, hiding and redeeming the sins in some measure. And when such a city says, behold us, what a charitable people we are, I say to you that this city does not understand the kingdom of your God. Yet you shall avoid going to the other extreme, doing nothing, which is worst of all. But you shall go to the root of the matter. Your charity, what? Shall be directed to prevent the causes of such ill fortunes. See? Then OSP brings the balance. Don't go to the extreme end and do nothing. That ain't what's being said. Right? But charity needs to be aimed at what? Preventing the causes of such ill fortunes that we find in our societies. So don't flatter yourself like you did something because you gave somebody $5 a day or $10 or any of that, which ain't nothing wrong with it. You dig? But just know in the rank of like how the creator ranks any of that, that's you're doing very little. If you're not providing a system, a system that alleviates the problem and the brother or sister that can become self-sustaining and no longer need you. See, a lot of you slanderous jaw Negroes want people to lead. You dig? We just read that earlier too. The whore queen of England, the popes and all them, they ain't got past the first resurrection. They still heard. Oh, wait. If y'all get some understanding so far, give me a 2 up in the chat. Bless up, bless up. We cooking with the vortex today. Shout out to the haters, jawjackers, and naysayers. Yeah. We love y'all too. Bless up. We read in the Bible that charity covers a multitude of sins, right? OSP, as the decoder, comes and show you how to do charity. How to do it. But we just learned, just feeding the poor, you know what I mean? It's little. Right? Especially if it is keeping them dependent. They're dependent on some more charity. We're better off developing, skills. Right? It's time for the brothers and sisters to develop skills if they don't already have one and perfect that deal. You dig? And use that skill to feed your, not only yourself, but your family and teach someone else who may be interested in getting down with it as you perfect. But we need hands-on skills. All hands on deck. You know what I mean? So now you're getting some understanding on how to do charity. See, practical. We're not just talking. We ain't just saying, look, do this or chestnuts are roasting. We ain't just saying do this because you don't want your chestnuts to roast. It's letting you know, look, there is a spiritual life. There is something called death. You understand? And look, this is what you need to watch out for. All right. This is how you know what kind of angels are serving you. By the behavior that's revealed. Right? This is how you know if you in concert or if you don't want to call with the angels of the second resurrection and higher. These are the things you need to know. Right? No reason to be mad at the decoder. It's just decoding what you ain't know. You ain't got no answer. And if you ain't got no answer, how the hell you gonna twist your lips and tell us we ain't got no answer? You don't got damn answer for the people. Damn. Now we going into how to do charity. Headshot, benefit, body blow, benefit. We need to know these things, don't we? God said, oh man, consider the foolishness. Consider the folly of individual effort. One will say, I help my family and my neighbors. Let others do likewise and all will be well. This is his philosophy and doctrine. Now I say to you, this is just what has been tried for thousands of years, and it has always resulted. It has always resulted in impotency or weakness. Impotence, impotency, weakness. You know what I realized reading all this? Man, I ain't got nothing to brag about. Nothing. Sit my monkey ass down. So I ain't got nothing to brag about. Dang. You know what I mean? Here go niggas feeding the poor all on camera. Oh, wow, here come a wasp. Man, warning. That bullshit you just did was little. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't even do nothing. Look at it. It has been said, sell all you have and give to the poor. But I say to you, you should not do this, neither in ooze nor willingly, nor in hopes of your own salvation. Though that opened the way to salvation in the ancient days, it is not sufficient in this day. Neither shall you hope that by giving to the poor, you shall escape condemnation. Catholic, the Catholic charities, huh? Neither shall you hope that by giving to the poor, you shall escape condemnation. No, boo-boo. But you shall go to the foundation of things and go systematically. Yeah, to go to the foundation of things, to break things down, right? Know how something works. Come up with a system, attack it, right? But as a concentrated force. Remember, there's no individuals in these things. You dig? Look at this. Your efforts shall not be single-handed, but you shall unite with others. And together, create a gang, baby. And together, you shall provide a remedy against poverty. See, so stop all the fat mouthing and young folk don't know and they don't listen. And then you ain't provided no system or no remedy for poverty. Not you, we ain't. I'm speaking French. We ain't provided no system or remedy against poverty. Remembering it is wiser to accomplish with the young than with the aged. For the mature will be dead in a few years, and by then those who are children will be mature. It is better that you provide a way to 10 fatherless children than for 40 people who are grown. Wow. Now you see that? Hear the wisdom of God, our big brother. All right. Deal with the youngins. Get with the short leggers. Pour into them. It's better we do that. Over here arguing with these slanderous jaw Negroes 24/7. We better off just pouring into the youngins, pouring into the short leggers and the short runners. You know what I mean? Look at this. It is better that you provide a way to 10 fatherless children than for 40 people who are grown. But even in this, you may err toward the children, for to provide them an asylum in infancy, saying, behold, what a good work we have done, shows that you do not measure as your God measures. For it is not sufficient to just feed and clothe short leggers. It is not enough to just feed and clothe them, but you must teach them a trade, see, a skill, and occupations, and give them learning, so that when they are grown, they can what? Sustain themselves. Yeah. Here you go. You ain't just called to change them diapers, them soiled pampers. You ain't called just to feed them and clothe them. No, they supposed to learn a trade. That way, what? When they become grown, they can do what? Sustain themselves. That's charity. That's how you give charity to your children. Teach them a skill. Teach them a trade. Remember, this is how to perform true charity. So for everyone outside your house, they're inside your house. That's how you do it. It ain't good enough just to feed them and clothe them. We need to be pouring wisdom into our children. We need to be teaching them a skill or a trade. Something they can always sustain themselves with. Failure to do that, you understand? Failure to do that is beyond a disgrace. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Look at this. But even then, your work is not the highest. But you shall so provide them that they will not only be self-supporting, but they shall be willing and capable of rescuing others as they were rescued. So teach others what you learn. You see, the elders are supposed to have been like that, in that gap. Like the wealth and the knowledge should have not skipped the generation. It should be one easy transmission, with the hope that the generation coming up under you becomes greater than you. You see, the angels move like that. The angels move to raise you up so they can continue to raise you up so you can aim to be greater than them. Look at this. After this, verse 12. After this, you shall see to it that all things are so provided that after your death, your institution is not liable to fall into disuse or perversion. Then, set your institution up a certain way. Right? Wisdom. This is founding the Father's kingdom on earth. And whoever labors like this shall be served or ministered to by my heavenly kingdoms for the glory of the Creator. Wow. True charity is providing something to where the person you're doing something for can become self-sustaining. And if we move like that, then we shall be ministered to by the Creator's heavenly kingdoms or God's heavenly kingdoms for the glory of Jehovah. Therefore, do not let your charity be for a year, nor 100 years, but you shall be the cornerstones, founding places on earth where a system shall rest perpetually that will provide a new race where poverty, crime, and helplessness cannot enter. You thus become, even in mortality, members of my second resurrection in heaven. Oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait. Oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait. Y'all get some understanding. Give me a one up in the chat. Bless up. I ain't heard nothing evil yet. I ain't heard nothing evil yet. Good. I ain't heard nothing evil yet. Now we going into the missionaries. Not judges, the missionaries. Not the missionaries. Right? Not the Catholic fathers sent through. Straight got the blueprint. Y'all see that? The blueprint. Man. All we gotta do is put it into action. That deal into action, boy. That's all you gotta do. Put it into action. Oh, man. Good to see y'all in the building, man. Bless up. Bless up. Love and light. All right, chapter 29. Let's get into this. Book of Judgment, OI Speed, chapter 29. God judges the missionaries. God said, in past times I commanded you, saying, go forth into all the world, preaching my doctrines, chief of which was, there is only one, even the I am. Him you shall love with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbors yourself, having faith in the Creator through righteousness and good works. There it is. That's universal. Moreover, I declare to you that whoever fulfill my commandments, believing in the Creator, certain signs will be given to them, by which they would be known to men. And you went forth, and behold, my signs went with you. And you did accomplish service to the Most High, Creator. But it came to pass in the course of time, you did forsake your Creator, setting up lords and saviors of your own, worshiping them instead of the Most High. And I looked down upon you from my holy place in heaven, and I saw that you had become obsessed with evil spirits, thousands and millions of them, who profess to be the lords and saviors whom you worshipped. Wow. And I said to my lords, behold, man has erected an idol in heaven. Go to those who preach in my name and take from them the signs and miracles which I gave. And my lords came to you, finding you had gone abroad over the whole world, and my lords cut you short of signs and miracles. For this was the judgment of your God against you, because you had turned against the I Am, teaching another God other than who? Yahweh. And I made this my edict manifest on the earth. For I withdrew, I took away my holy angels from you. And from that time forward, wherever you have gone, behold, I have given you none of the signs with which I had been liberal before. And I measured the work of your hand in the places of your mission, and I found that you were impotent, weak to establish good works. And wherever you had gone, thousands and millions of drudges, demons followed you in your path. And your people went with weapons of destruction, slaughtering those whom the Creator had created alive, in order to establish your idol God. This is your Spanish Inquisition, y'all. And my lords numbered all the places of your missionaries around the earth. And behold, there was not one place that you had established which was not given up to sin and blasphemy against the Creator. Neither had you raised up any member or members in all them who practice even the first commandments. All right, y'all, remember, these are Christian missionaries, y'all. Christian missionaries and the Knights Templars and all them. And I said to you, behold, you do not have the signs and miracles. Give up your preaching and go among the barbarians, teaching them how to plant, sow, reap, clothe themselves, and to live in houses. Y'all see this? Look at this. But this was distasteful to you in your hypocrisy, and you turned your occupation into a scheme to live in worthlessness on the contributions of your neighbors. Wow. And behold, your doctrines have not prospered to work righteousness for the glory of the Almighty in any place in the whole world. Do not flatter yourself that you have done a good work, because you have taught the ignorant to say Brahma, or Buddha, or Lord, or to sing anthems in praise of your idol God. Your God measures you and your converts according to such purification as adds to the glory of everlasting life in heaven as well as on earth. And such purification manifests not only in words, but in good works for the glory of the Father. See? And when it has come to pass that your mission brought about a war afterward, behold, that war is also upon your head. And y'all, wherever the missionaries go, war follows. You think a missionary come, he got his rosary beads, he's speaking all quietly and peaceful. No, when you see the missionary, you know the sword right behind him. The sword right behind him. So it ain't just Islam that spread by the sword. Christianity did too, by the sword. So true God is telling the missionary, look, if your mission birthed a war, then that war is upon your head. That blood from that war, them dead souls, that's on you. I do not measure a little good that happened for a moment, and there an end. I comprehend the lapse of scores of years and hundreds of years, and I weigh the whole matter. And render judgment in aggregate. You hear this? You hear this? What is an aggregate? The sum, the overall result. Many distinct parts considered together as a whole. The entities and activities considered as an entirety. The sum of the overall result. See? So whatever you do got to be long lasting. Whatever we produce as a system has to be a long lasting righteous effect. Kurt, nothing about what you just did for a nanosecond, for a smidgen of your breath. I do not measure a little good that happens for a moment, and there an end. I comprehend the lapse of scores of years and hundreds of years, and I weigh the whole matter and render judgment in the full, in the sum. That's cold, boy. Neither do I judge by man's inventions or mechanical contrivances. My judgments are in reference to man's comfort and joy in life, and to his resurrection in my heavens, according to a man's or a people's ascending grade in approximating the Creator, so shall a man and a people be judged. Ooh, wee, boy. It's like bombs dropping all over this deal. It's like bombs dropping all over this deal, man. This is serious. You know what I mean? This is serious. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Chapter 30, Book of Judgment, chapter 30, OI Speed, Sky, Earth, Spirit. Cooking with the vortex. I ain't heard nothing evil yet. Y'all, you Gregory Hines, slanderous jaw Negro. You the evil, a clairvoyant, chakra fam. Bro, look, go sit down somewhere, bro. Y'all low-hanging fruit. You ain't nowhere near ready. You Gregory Hines in spirit. You tap dancing. All outside of Washington. But won't open it up. And think about it. What's the worst that can happen? You find out you're doing something wrong and correct what you're doing wrong. If you got the spirit of truth, then you shouldn't be afraid of no truth. You shouldn't be afraid of any truth. Oh, wait. Let's get into it. Chapter 30, Judgment. God judges dominions. Oh, wait. Let's get into it. God said, now behold, a certain rich man coveted his neighbor's children, and he went and captured many of them. And because he was mighty above his neighbors, none of them could regain their offspring. And a certain rabbah, a certain priest, inquired of the Creator concerning the matter. And the Creator answered him, saying, whatever he coveted and has taken, suffer him to keep, allow him to keep. What he has taken exultingly shall be in time to come a slavery, a bondage to him in sorrow. For he shall provide according to law. And it so happened that a famine came upon that land. And according to the laws, the rich had to provide for the kin of their own households. And behold, the rich man's possessions were consumed by the neighbors whom he had robbed, and great sorrow came upon him. Such, O man, is the way of the dominions of men. A mighty king stretches forth his hand to possess his neighbor's kingdom. And the Creator gives it to him. And the Creator gives it to him. And that king exults, saying, behold my possessions and my power. Hear now the judgment of your God, O man. Sooner or later, all things answer to the Most High Creator. In a way man does not imagine. Whoever covets and receives is bound to Jehovah. Here you go trying to, like it's a rat race to achieve all the material possessions and all the riches. Don't you know you bind yourself, dum-dum? You bind yourself. You're preparing yourself to be a slave when you cross over. Sooner or later, all things answer to the Creator in a way man does not imagine. Whoever covets and receives is bound to the Creator. And when a king possesses a new country for himself, he not only receives its riches, but its misfortunes also. The profits and losses are all his. Yeah, that's all you, player. That's all you. And the sins of the people are his, and are from that time forward upon who? His head. And when a famine comes upon that country, the king shall be responsible for that country. Yeah, you got to feed all them, Jack. No. When you was conquering and boasting your fat Giles, about how powerful you are, you ain't look down the line and say, dang, but what if a famine comes? You see all these souls that I have? You see all this offspring that I done captured? I got to feed them. And if I don't feed them, yeah, if you don't feed your wolves, they're going to put you on the menu. Yeah. Yeah, so you see how your possessions and your dominions eventually become your very bondage. That's why faith is important to really keep here that we don't own nothing. I mean, we can set up certain businesses and control it. You know what I mean? Control it, you know what I mean? That way it's ran properly and all that. But nah, man, don't be around here bragging about your possessions and what you got. You understand? That means everything the entertainers and the athletes and all them brag about and boast about, they actually are in bondage to it. In this life and the next. Any lands that have been conquered in the name of any king or any god and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got more lands. Yeah, you got more resources, but you got more bondage too. More money, more problems, right? That's all this is saying. More money, more problems. And when a famine comes upon that country, the king shall be responsible for that country. And he shall supply every one of the people, or judgment shall be upon his head. And he shall supply every one of the people, or judgment shall be upon who? His head. Yeah, you the one that was over there running your mouth, boasting of your armies, boasting of your sword, conquering. Yeah, you inherit the profits and losses, Jack. The sins of the people and all in between. Oh, yeah, and a famine's coming. And if you can't provide the wants, it don't even say the needs. That's say you got to supply every want of the people. Or judgment shall be upon your head. And for all the newly acquired subjects who may be in sickness or distress, the king shall be judged. Moreover, judgment shall pursue that king into the spirit world. Oh, so death doesn't alleviate your responsibility that you have. You a king, Jack. Right? You got a dominion, right? You got subjects, right? Judgment shall chase that king into the S world, the spirit world. And the subjects and the slaves he took to himself on earth shall be his in heaven to what? Redeem and provide for and educate. Oh, wait. That means General your hog belly, boy. That means Free Case Ray from IUS. Oh, man. All your subjects on this side, yeah. Eventually, guess what you're going to have to sit down and say? Look, I taught you the wrong thing. In order for us to get up out of here, this is what we got to learn. This is what we got to do. And that may not be easy for you because your people may be on some hell no, that ain't what you told us. But you ain't going nowhere till the lowest of your subjects have risen up even above you. Till then, you ain't going nowhere. You see how having dominions, being a king, you see how having material possessions and a whole bunch of it, you see how all of that puts you in bondage. Dang, well, that's your responsibility even after you cross over. You had servants, now you got to be their servant. Now you got to serve them. And help advance them and redeem them from their ignorance. Because being your slave, you kept them ignorant and blind and dumb. Now you got to teach them and train them. Nor shall he have exaltation in my heavens faster than the lowest of his subjects. Oh, wait, that's fair. That's fair. Nah, you ain't raising up into the lowest of your slaves while you was on earth. You understand? It's raised up past you. Behold, I not only bequeath the glory and joy of the Father's kingdom on earth, but I also reveal the responsibilities which shall become known to mortals. Man shall not only perceive the justice of my judgments, but he shall realize the power of my hand upon kingdoms and empires. I show man not only the way of liberty, but the way of bondage. He shall know understandingly the ways of my dominions and the judgment that is upon him. For everyone whom the king causes to be killed, in order to possess a new country, the king shall mete out reparations until all his enemies pardon and forgive him. Ball game, boy. You see what slave master got to go through? You see what king got to go through once they cross over? You got to make that right. That's fair and just right there. Here we go, thinking our ancestors ain't getting every one of our ancestors that got that was murdered by slave master. You understand? Got them some get back. And slave master is their servant on the other side. And he must labor to serve them and raise them up and get them to a certain spiritual grade. You know what I mean? So they and him can resurrect and not be bound to the earth. They still here. Right? Until what? Slave forgive you. Right? A lot of them was burnt, hung alive, castrated, raped. But notice, it's the one you did something to that's getting at you. It ain't God. God ain't got to get at you. No. You going to clean up what you spilled. You owe that back to the table. And that's for any murderers out there that's listening. Gangbangers that's listening. You know what I mean? Whoever blood you put in them streets, remember, you got to make that right. Either on this side or the next. You got to make that right. Or guess what? When you cross over, you bound. And your enemy can throw your ass in the head. We is something called spirit retaliation. In order to look at that, the king shall mete out reparations. He got to repair the breach until all his enemies pardon and forgive him. Can you think now? Think about tyrants like Hitler, Saddam Hussein. Good night, the Queen of England. Behold, I have revealed the grades and rates, and any such king shall perceive that his bondage cannot be less than 6 generations, but may be 20 or 40 generations before he reaches beyond the second resurrection. Do y'all hear this? So 6 generations, that is not less than 200 years, but may be more like 40 generations, which is about 1,300 years. Rates and rates are discussed in more detail later in OWASP. So you can spend the next 200 years after you cross over, 200 to 1,300 years after you cross over, bound to the earth. Before he reaches beyond the second resurrection. See, you learning system and order and all that, man. Right? Here you go, wanting to be a king and all that. After reading all this, I'm good. I don't want to be no king, no general, no captain. I'm good. You dig? That judgment chases you into the spirit world. And you got to labor with your enemy until all of them pardon and forgive you. And until you raise up the least of them, you ain't going nowhere, Jack. You bound. Wow. We're cooking with the vortex today. Look at this. Look at this. And the same rules shall apply to every king, queen, emperor, and every other ruler in the world. The resurrection in heaven of each and every one of them shall be with, and no faster than, those they ruled over on earth. Oh, that's hard. Bag drop, boy. You ain't going no further and getting there no faster than those you ruled over. Y'all see slave master's judgment? So in other words, slave master, king, emperor, they turn into the servant. They turn into the servant. And their incentive to labor is because they do not want to be bound here. In order for them to get to where they supposed to go, they got to labor with those they neglected, despised, degraded, degraded, however the hell they say that. Yeah. It's showing you don't get away with nothing. Death don't alleviate the responsibility. right? Death doesn't alleviate the wrong that you did. You ain't got away with nothing. You got to make that right. And they shall be responsible to all their subjects, all their slaves, for deaths resulting from wars, where the subjects were used for the glory and power of the king, and for all families, pestilences, and all other injuries that come upon the multitude through any shortness in the king's government, and for the poverty of the people, and for their ignorance and crime. Nor shall the king escape retribution for any good thing he might have done, but did not accomplish. Wow. Wow. Look at this. And for all the profit and service the king receives on earth from his subjects, he shall render back to them an equivalent profit and service, either on earth or in heaven. Yeah. You got to render that service back sooner or later. Sooner or later. So that means every leader is a servant. Every leader is a follower. Let the king or other ruler no longer flatter himself that death escapes the bondage of man to his subject and neighbor. Behold, by opening the gates of heaven, I have given you its glory, and with it I also give you the responsibilities. I have brought the angels to your door. They bring you news of great joy, and bring you also the afflictions you cast upon them. I told those of past times that sword would answer sword, war would answer war, and peace receiving peace. Such then is the judgment of your God upon dominion, and this shall be ratified in time to come by every ruler on the face of the earth. Bag drop, boy. Man, that deal hitting like steel. If it's hitting like steel, give me a 9 up in the chat, family. Bless up. Bless up, bless up. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I can hear the slanderous y'all Negroes now. Drop it, spilling coffee. Know what I mean? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. God judges the man of promise. You ever got to, you get to the point to where, man, oh, I promise I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I give me a little money. I'm going to do that. You might want to be careful. Might want to be careful. No way. Look at this. Chapter 31. The book of judgment, O I speak. God judges the man of promise. God said, consider the judgments of God, O man, of many promises. Behold, I have heard you say, O God, if I were rich, or if this undertaking holds good, or if I am spared, then I would do something handsome for the Father's kingdom. And your vows have been registered in heaven over and over again. And my angels have labored with you to fulfill your promise, and yet you do not regard your word, but you hold on to your earthly possessions, saying, wait yet a little while. Hear it in the judgment of your God, for it is that which you shall put upon yourself after your entrance into the spirit world, S-word, which is that you shall be bound in heaven. You shall be bound in heaven till you accomplish what you might have done, but failed to do. Yeah, if I had me some money, I would do it like this. Which is that you shall be bound in heaven till you accomplish what you might have done, but failed to do. And this is the penalty for neglecting on earth to fulfill the light that was given to you. I heard that? Brothers and sisters have a light given to you. Don't neglect that. Now, we must fulfill the light that was given to us. But notice how responsibility doesn't escape you. Even once you die, you still owe that to the table. You owe that back to the board, Jack. You owe that back to the board. And this is the penalty for neglecting on earth to fulfill the light that was given to you. You shall in heaven accomplish without money what you could have done with money. And the difference it requires to do a thing without means as compared to what might be done by one with means is the extra bondage and duration that shall be upon your head and soul. So whatever you set out and promised to do, and said if you had money you would do it, and you got money, you didn't do it. When you cross over, you still got to get it done, but without the means to get it done. And until you get it done, you're not ascending. You ain't going nowhere. Man, that's cold. That's cold. Really be about this if you open your mouth. You dig? To all men who set out with a promise to accomplish charity or any good for the resurrection or improvement of man and fail to do it, the same judgment shall be upon them in heaven, nor shall they rise above the first resurrection until they have fulfilled the same in all particulars. In this way, they shall judge themselves in heaven. Wow. Now you know how you're going to judge yourself. Now you still got to perform. You still got to fulfill your word and perform. Right? And this is how you're going to judge yourself. And notice what it says too. It says the same in all particulars. Dang. Some of us have ran our mouth so long and put a gang of particulars and details in that deal. You got to fulfill that. It is not sufficient for you, old man, to say, I did not see my way clear as to the best method of doing the thing, and so I waited. The commandment of the Creator is upon you to do what you can. The commandment of the Creator is upon you to do what you can, according to your highest light and ability to accomplish. In this respect, then, you shall find no excuse, because you did not know the best way. Neither does it matter that the amount of your riches is less than another man's riches. You heard that? Creator ain't tripping nothing about you, your so-called bank account status at all. If anything, you're in more bondage than me. You feel me? If anything, you're in more bondage than me. Neither does it matter that the amount of your riches is less than another man's riches. Nor shall you find an excuse in saying, I did more according to my means than my neighbor did. One man shall not be judged by another, but all shall be judged according to the light of the Creator in them, and according to what He has given to them. Woof. Man. We got chapter 32 and chapter 33. And then we'll be officially done with the book of judgment. Last video, I went from like chapter 34 on in to the end and forgot the ones right here in the middle that I hit today. So we got 2 more chapters, and we're going to close on out. Y'all get some understanding. Give me an 8 up in the chat. Bless up, bless up, bless up. Good to see y'all. Good to be seen. All right, the book of judgment, the Creator's wisdom is for our benefit. All you've been hearing today is benefits. Benefits. You know what I mean? Owaski's a decoder. Now, why be mad at the decoder? Why be mad at something that's bringing some clarity to the situation? The only reason you mad is because hit dogs holler. Right? Who you call God more than likely ain't the Creator. You may have been in covenant, or you may have been in agreement with a false God, pump faking like He's the Creator. All right. So listen to the message and trip off character. That's what this whole thing is about. All right. Character. Look at this. God said God judges against war. Here you go, man. I just came through the airports. You know, everybody standing up and saluting the soldiers or the merchants of death and thank you for your service. And look at it. Look at the judgment against war. God said, now behold, O man, I have declared my first and second resurrections to you. And in like manner is the third resurrection, but still higher. And so on, or all the heavens of Jehovah, higher and higher, until the inhabitants of them become very lords and gods. Hmm? So when y'all hear say peace to the righteous gods and goddesses, you understand? We're not talking about an aspect of worshiping. We're talking about sons and daughters of the Creator who can possibly achieve those ranks one day and be called on by the Creator to do a magnificent work for a physical earth or a physical world. They help raise their grade and bring them out of darkness. You see that? Nevertheless, hear, O man, the wisdom of your God and be appreciative of the way of resurrection being opened up to you. Now I declare to you, there are angels lower than the first resurrection, being incapacitated, by various causes from knowing who they are, where they came from, or where they are going. Indeed, many of them do not know words of speech, nor signs, nor tokens, but are as destitute of knowledge as young babies. Many of them died in infancy. Some of them were killed by abortion. Some of them were idiots, and some of them deranged. Many of these live by fetal. And so that you may know what fetal is, behold, the Creator has given you testimony in mortality, such as when a young child sleeps with a very old person. That child is devoured of his substance. In such a case, the old person is fetal on the young child. The old person is said to live by fetal. So sometimes, especially dealing with these abortions, right? The sisters become very, what they call, depressed, sad, overwhelmed. Well, YHWH's is explaining, the book of Judgment is explaining, after that abortion, the spirit of that child becomes fetal or attached to its mother. And that's why the mother becomes heavy and depressed. You see what I'm saying? It's fetal, and trip off this, it never experienced a mortal life. So it really doesn't know anything. It's like a dumb child, doesn't know anything. Hasn't experienced any type of mortal life or anything. It was aborted or died too young to even gain experience. So those type of spirits, what happens to those spirits? See, we all run around talking about abortion, but nobody want to talk about what happened to the spirit of the baby you about to murder. Those spirits come back and attach themselves to their parents. You know what I mean? And from what I'm hearing, a lot of that is heavy for a lot of sisters. It's very, very heavy. But that's what's happening. That heavy spirit is the spirit of the child you just murdered, coming to attach itself to you. You know what I mean? For the purpose of gaining some type of physical experience that it was just robbed of. Mm-hmm. And that's on you. You know what I mean? It's your responsibility to raise that up. See? Now you go over getting abortions as if it takes away the responsibility that you have. You still got that responsibility. That child's still there. How about the spirit of that child come back and attach to you? That's why it makes no sense to abort a child. Well, for what? You still responsible for that child, regardless. And if you kill the child, then that spirit's coming to attach itself to you. And you still responsible for that child's experience. You see? Look at this. Now hear, O man, the judgment of your God. Half the people born into the world, including stillbirths and abortions, die in infancy. Therefore, there are 1 billion angel infants, fetal, attached on the earth every 30 years. 1 billion of them. Stillbirths, abortions, or just dying in infancy. That leaves 1 billion angel infants fetal on the earth every 30 years. That's crazy. These angels never obtain objective knowledge of the physical earth, but are compelled to learn earthly things subjectively through mortals upon whom they attach themselves or upon whom they are fetal. You see that? So you rob this spirit or your child of learning or having an objective knowledge about a physical world. So they gotta everything they gotta learn by attaching themselves to you. And it's subjectively, it's not objective knowledge, it's not first-hand knowledge for them. You rob them of that. You rob them of it. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples on the earth for this great darkness, these early deaths. And because these angels are thus bound to mortals and cannot go away from them until such time as mortals die. Mortals are responsible. You hear that? Brothers and sisters that had abortions and all that, paid for it, you responsible. Mortals are responsible and bound to train them by examples of righteousness and good works to rise up. You still gotta let your light shine, because the baby you murdered, is attached to you, is feeded upon you. Or baby may have just died early. Still, the baby still needs comfort. The spirit of that child still needs comfort. Who better to nourish the child than the child's parent? But you still got to be an example in righteousness. Y'all see how a WASPy is decoding what's going on? Even down to about this, y'all, even down to the abortions and all that. But it showed nobody's past redemption either. All right, you still, but death does not alleviate your responsibility to right your wrong. You know what I mean? Look at this, verse 9. Now, other than these angels, there are those who are slain in war, whose minds are in chaos, who, dying in the heat of passion, fear, and anger, become wild and bound on battlefields, or perhaps stroll away into deserted houses and castles, and are lost, bewildered, and unapproachable. Of these, there are hundreds of millions, and they are in all countries and among all peoples in the world. They are distracted and tormented with their own fears and bewilderment. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples in the world who engage in war. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples in the world who engage in war, thus bringing these afflictions upon the angels of heaven. You heard that? That would include the United States. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples in the world who engage in war, thus bringing these afflictions upon the angels of heaven. Yeah, because there are angels, there are rankings of angels who are set up to receive the spirits of the dead. And here you go murdering, you understand, people before their time, you dig? And now the angels got to restore these chaotic spirits. That spirit is chaotic. It just died in the heat of anger and passion. All right? That afflicts the angels because they got to go over and beyond to calm those spirits down. War is not sanctioned by the Creator in no way, shape, form, or fashion. If you know what happened to the spirits of those slain in war, you dig, you'll think a million times before you kill somebody, because you're responsible for that as well. Judgment is rendered against every nation and all people in the world who carry on war or who are accessory to war, in which any man created alive by the Creator is slain in defense of any king or other ruler, or in defense of any country or government in the world. Judgment against their weapons down, and whether any war is offensive or defensive, my judgment is against its aiders and abettors, and against the kings and queens or other rulers who are parties to war, willingly, knowingly, or otherwise. And I judge him guilty also who is general. General YAH'KI. Wow. Who is general, commodore, captain, sergeant, or private that engages in war or takes part in it, of aiding, abetting, or otherwise, in which any man created alive by the Yahweh is slain or caused to suffer death. And yet, aside from angels who are in chaos, there are hundreds of millions who are in declension instead of resurrection. Such angels are those who in mortal life were whipped and tortured in prisons, or perhaps were hanged, or otherwise put to death. These angels take delight in evil instead of good. Sometimes they go about singly, and sometimes in gangs of hundreds and even thousands. In the past, the false gods used such angels to fulfill curses on mortals and to carry poison in the earth and inoculate mortals with foul diseases. Behold, in this day my angels have shown you that they can bring flowers and ponderous bodies. Similarly, the false gods with their trained warrior angels who delighted in evil could cast mortals in death by poisons and suffocation. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples who use prisons as places for whipping and torturing prisoners, and against all nations and peoples who put to death by hanging, shooting, or in any way whatsoever any prisoner or any person whom the Creator created alive. Judgment is rendered against the judge and the jury who condemn to death any man, and against the lawmakers who make or have left in force a law authorizing death as a penalty against any person Yahweh created alive, and against any sheriff or executioner who puts to death willingly or knowingly any person Yahweh created alive. And this is the bondage I put upon all those who do not obey my judgments and conform to them. They shall not rise above the first resurrection in heaven while war remains upon the earth, even though their bondage is 100 years or 1,000 years. Yet this my judgment against them shall not be put aside. Neither shall any king, queen, or any other ruler in the entire world impress as a soldier any man who is unwilling to engage in war. And whoever does not obey this, my judgment shall not rise above the first resurrection in heaven while war remains on this earth. So yeah, these kings and these queens and these rulers, they still here because war still is happening on earth. Right? War is still cracking right here on earth. My judgment shall not rise above the first resurrection in heaven while war remains on earth. Nor will I any more consider the prayers of any king, queen, or any other ruler, or any other nation or people anywhere in the world who engage in war. Nor will I any more consider the prayers of any king, queen, or any other ruler, that would include president, or any nation or people anywhere in the world who engage in war. So your prayers ain't getting up past your earlobes. Talking about some God bless America. Your prayers ain't getting up past your nostrils. Nor will I any more consider the prayers of any king, queen, or any other ruler, or any nation or people anywhere in the world who engage in war, offensive or defensive, or who aid or abet war in any way whatsoever. But I will abandon all such people, and my Lord shall abandon them, and my holy angels shall abandon them. And they shall be left as a prey to their own harvest of evil spirits and to all manner of drudges. And they shall be afflicted with assassinations, intriguers and despoilers, and anarchy, riots, and destruction. Sound like the Trump crew. That sound like the Trump crew. January 6, 2020. Well, they shall be made to understand that whomever the Creator created alive is sacred upon the earth. That whoever the Most High created alive is sacred upon the earth, and that whoever does not heed these, my judgment sins against the Almighty. Behold, it is not sufficient apology for them to say, oh, an evil king will come upon my country and possess it. I say to you, oh man, all countries are the Creator's. Be his servant for peace and righteousness, having faith in him. Behold, your God has come to put away old things and to give to you the kingdoms of Jehovah as they are in his exalted heavens. Heed the judgments of your God. You cannot stop the hand of the Almighty. Ooh-wee. We getting understanding in this deal, boy. We getting understanding in this deal. All praises and great glory. All praises and great glory. Give me 7 up in the chat if y'all getting some understanding. All right. Give me 7 up in the chat if y'all get some understanding. Phone yanking in this deal. All right, chapter 33, Book of Judgment, last chapter. We officially done with the Book of Judgment. It's always a pleasure to come on and, cook with the vortex with the family. Always an honor. Believe that, y'all. Ain't nothing but love. Chapter 33, God judges against exclusiveness. Uh-oh. That's a message for my Israelite brothers. My Israelite brothers and sisters. Shalom. Look at this. God judges against exclusiveness. God said, hear the judgments of your God, O man. Look upon the whole world with the eye of a God. Be comprehensive in judgment over all nations and peoples upon the earth. Be comprehensive in judgment over all nations and peoples upon the earth. Jehovah have said, out of my very self I created all the living. Jehovah have said, out of my very self I created all the living. Brothers and sisters, I made them from the members of my body. Whew. Man, look. That's crazy. In the early days of a world, behold, I provided man with different countries and different continents and islands, separated by mighty waters, so that man in one division of the earth would not interfere with man in another division of the earth. Behold, I allot one nation and people to one civilization, and another nation and people I allot to another civilization, separately on the different divisions of the earth and on the islands and the seas. I situated the different peoples I created. But when the world grows older and man attains the wisdom, I say to him, build ships and sail across the waters I created. Go visit your brothers and sisters in the different divisions of the earth. And man masters the ocean and comes to his brothers and sisters remotely situated. And I say to man, because you have mastered the ocean, let this be a testimony to you that there shall be no barrier, from this time forward between all the nations and peoples I created. You see that? You see that? The sign that the Creator is breaking down all tribal borders and all racism and all that. Man has conquered and mastered transportation. He's conquered and mastered the air and the waters and the ground. Because you have mastered the ocean, let this be a testimony to you that there shall be no barrier, no separation from this time forward between all the nations and peoples I created. In Cosmon, in this time I come, saying, be brethren upon the face of the earth and upon the waters of the earth. These are the legacies I bequeath to my children. Be a help and a benefit to one another. Stop being a misfit all your life. Know what I mean? Stop being somebody that people avoid like the plague all your life. Be a help and a benefit to one another. Judging wisely regarding the differences which circumstances and places of habitation have developed in the races of man. Now I, your God, O man, declare this judgment to you because your wisdom has surmounted the corporeal barrier or the physical barrier. The ocean between you and your brother, it is fitting and proper that your soul surmount the barrier of prejudice against your brethren. Look at this. And then instead of making laws against him, you should do the opposite of this and throw open the place of your habitation and your soul and your love to receive your brother, God-like, and with open arms. Do not flatter yourself that you can turn aside or set backward the seasons of the Almighty. Where you do this, affliction shall surely come upon you. Behold, I have made the heavens of the earth universal. There it is. Here you go claiming you got claim to heaven. Come on, man. How proud have we become? Behold, I have made the heavens of the earth universal and established heavenly roadways around the earth, so that the angels of the different nations and peoples may be as angels of universal heavens to help one another. Will you make a law to incite the enmity of the spirits of the dead against you, and thus open the door for still more aggressive wars? Shall the laws of man interdict the march of the Creator? Now behold, when Cosmon came, I said to you, come with your God. You shall knock peacefully at the doors of China and Japan, and they shall open to you. This you accomplish, and those who had been exclusive for hundreds of years turn from the old ways to welcome the Creator's hand in your promises. Now I declare to you, I will not have exclusiveness anymore in any other nations and peoples in all of the world. Neither shall there be taxes and duties or tariffs of one nation or people against another. Behold, you have asked for the Father's kingdom to come on earth as it is in heaven, and I will give it to you. As you have prayed, so will I answer you in the name of the Creator. You shall not serve both Yahweh and Mammon. Neither shall the light of my heavens be with you unless you heed my judgments. I will have all the ports open and free, and without partisan taxation, either in favor of one nation against another, or of one people against another people. It is not excusable for you to say, lo, the poor foreigner will come and consume my riches. You shall say the opposite. Welcome, my poor brothers and sisters. Whatever is mine is yours also. Come and dwell within my country. It is ample, and Yahweh will provide for us. Ooh-wee. 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 All right, y'all, we're going to shut it down right there for the day. Anybody got any questions? Y'all go ahead and post them deals. You dig? But we just came out the book of Judgment, chapters, 24 to 33. You dig? And got some understanding, right? And realize what the Creator's wisdom is for our benefit. For our benefit, right? Our benefit. And we learned a lot today. We learned a lot today, and if anything, you learned how to be proactive and more involved in your salvation and your resurrection and your judgment and all that. You dig? All praises to the Creator, the ever-present Creator, the all in all, that always was, is, and never shall be. You dig? The great Spirit that I am that I am. It's all good, fam. Y'all already know what time it is over this way. You dig? Truth light bomb, megaton bomb, light bomb dropper. You know what I mean? We gonna drop light bombs everywhere. And get on everybody's nerves with it. All right, that's all right. We just here to deliver you out of hell, out of the dark bondage of your mind. Right? We even went into how you ain't even went and judged the missionaries, the nuns, the ascetics, went in and told you that's the method of binding a soul when it crosses over. We learned how we supposed to be with each other even when we come together into community. We are not to be inquisitors over one another. You know what I mean? All up in each other's mix and bringing judgment against each other for every little petty situation. Nah, man. You're supposed to do that. Why? Because that binds your spirit. It binds your soul. You dig? Oh, you ain't getting nothing but spiritual jewels over this way. You dig? Everywhere else, people running their mouth about nothing, but Creative Gang is still going strong, doing this thing. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to the Creative Gang, man. Creative Gang in the building. You dig? Y'all just keep our foot on the neck of these false gods. Keep it popping, keep it pushing. We dealing with so much vast information. It's like, you dig? And unless y'all want to get in the ring, we can do that. Other than that, we teach. You dig? But we'll run through another debate league or y'all's anytime. It was fun clearing the block over there. You dig? But there's plenty of us, man. There's plenty of us that's willing to debate, have discourses, dialogues, whatever it may be, presentations, whatever it may be. Brothers and sisters over this way. So I ain't got nothing but love for y'all. You know what I mean? Shout out to my Nazarite to sing, brothers and sisters. Bless up. Bless up. But we ain't dealing with nothing evil over here, no matter what some slanderous jaw Negroes over there saying. We ain't dealing with nothing evil. Right? No reason to be mad at the decoder. It's just decoding things for you. And you realize it got more answers than questions at times. You be like, wow, that's deep. I ain't trip off that. Right? Get your mind blown. You hear that? You feel that? But that's what's up, y'all. I'm about to get about her. The big sister, she's spiritually full, all praises. You know what I mean? I'm about to get about her and hang on back. All right. Love and light to the family. And once again, all praises to the ever-present, omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing creator. All in all, that always was, is, and never shall be. Love and light. I salute you all in the name of the great spirit. You dig? And look, we know what we got to do. Right? We have the blueprint. So what time is it? It's time to apply. Later for the complaining, let's just get to work, y'all. We got to promise that the light of the heavenly kingdoms will surround us. We got to promise that the angels of the higher resurrections will be with us. You dig? But we supposed to be, look, we know how to do true charity now. All right, we know that just giving somebody that's less fortunate $1 is doing little. All right, we learned a lot today. All right, so y'all go back, meditate, study on that. You dig? And when it resonates in your spirit, go apply it. You dig? So look, if there ain't no questions, look, I love y'all forever and a day. I love y'all indeed and in truth. Shout out to the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. Yeah. We love y'all too. Bless up, bless up, bless up. You know what I mean? Any questions other than that, I guess email and we'll get it done. All right. To the end, my friends. Love y'all indeed and true. Create a gang in the building. You bring them, we raise them. You dig? All praises to the ever-present creator. I'm out of this deal. Bless up.